Classic concludes day 2 with another Big 12 SEC battle at Daikin Park in downtown Houston, Texas on a gorgeous night. We have two teams in need of a win after falling on Friday, the Oklahoma State Cowboys and the Texas A&M Aggies. Let's bring you up to the booth. Brett Dolan, Brian Bogosivic, thanks so much for joining us. Oklahoma State 4-4. Obviously, they want to win. And the #1 ranked Aggies have lost 3 straight. So we might get some desperate play today. But, Brian, as far as Oklahoma State, there's no doubt that Colin Brighamman has provided them a big lift offensively.
Brighamman's been producing all season long. He's a big physical presence in the batter's box. He's got power to all fields. Flicked one out into the Crawford boxes yesterday. But he's been hitting in clutch situations as well. Leads the team with 14 RBIs. And a lot of that comes because of teams' unwillingness to throw strikes to Nolan Schubert in the 3-hole. Brighamman has had opportunities with runners in scoring position, and he has continually cashed in on those opportunities.
Those 14 runs batted in also lead the Big 12. So he's been a big bat. And speaking of a big bat for Texas A&M and Jace Laviolette, he's in a little bit of a funk right now trying to find his way.
The entire A&M offense is in a little bit of a funk to start the season, and it starts with Jace Laviolette. He's the best player on the field, so getting him going is going to go a long way to getting this A&M offense going. The power has been there. He's got 3 home runs so far. There just haven't been a lot of hits, and there have been a lot of swings and misses.
Many think he could be the #1 pick in the draft this summer. It's the Texas A&M Aggies, the Oklahoma State Cowboys. We'll step aside and come back with our first pitch from downtown Houston right after this.
The Texas Children's Houston Open is here. Houston's iconic PGA tournament is back in full swing, March 27th through the 30th, and tickets are on sale now. Get ready for an experience like no other at Memorial Park. The Texas Children's Houston Open is the perfect place to host family, friends, or clients. With general admission, venue hopper, and premium hospitality options available. Visit tchouopen.com/tickets today.
Your Houston Astros are back for 2025. Built for the pursuit of a championship. Come experience the energy, the passion, and the unforgettable moments at Daikin Park. Tickets through June on sale now. Get yours at astros.com/tickets.
Vacationing is an art, and the Palm Beaches are your canvas. Stroll along sun-soaked beaches. Unwind at boutique resorts. Explore hidden and not so hidden gems. Here you'll discover a lifestyle that's nothing short of a masterpiece. Curate your perfect collection of experiences in the Palm Beaches.
There's never been a better time to become a season ticket holder for the Houston Astros. The average season ticket holder enjoys 45% savings over single game ticket prices, plus significant savings at the team store with exclusive season ticket holder discounts. Along with exclusive experiences and events, season ticket holders get priority access to postseason tickets. Become a season ticket holder today. Visit astros.com/season tickets for more information.
A lot of maroon inside this building tonight, downtown H-Town. Aggie fans, the 12th man is represented nicely, just as you would imagine. And Texas A&M, the host and the home team, ready to take the field. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Cowboys. Braden Smith, Donovan LaSalle, and Norbert Schubert, the top 3. Then Jones, Brighamman, Miola. Doherty behind the plate, Scholl, the DH, and Culberson, the shortstop, bats 9. And the pitcher they're going to see tonight, Brian, on the hill for these fighting Texas Aggies, Justin Lampkin, making, of course, his 3rd start of the year.
Lefty Justin Lampkin, he's got a fastball that sits in the low to mid-90s, 93, 95 miles an hour. Good slider, good changeup, and command of both pitches. He's a strike thrower, and he's one of those guys that if you're going to get him, you better get him early, because if he settles in and gets in a little bit of a groove, he's a lot to handle.
And you see those strikeouts, 13 and 10 innings of work for the left-hander Lampkin. Obviously, last night, though, Brian, they threw Ryan Prager, might be one of the best pitchers in all of college baseball. He was outstanding. 10 strikeouts in 6 innings, gave up just 1 solo homer. But this Aggies offense just couldn't score, and that's why Arizona was able to come back and win it 3-2. Take a look at the defense as well that A&M will run out there, and it's a little bit different lineup as well tonight for Texas A&M.
Well, absolutely. It's gotten to the point where Michael Early wants to make a little bit of a change with his lineup. He's got some guys in there making their first starts of the season, so trying to find a spark any way he can.
And we're ready to go. Braden Smith, the center fielder, steps in to begin things, and we're off and rolling and underway. Could we have ordered up any better weather for the College Classic this weekend?
Just perfect baseball weather.
This Oklahoma State team, they lost yesterday to Tennessee 5-2. And sometimes when you play Tennessee, that feels like a moral victory when you're within 3 runs. But obviously, Oklahoma State doesn't want to start 0-2 this weekend.
And some of the arms that Tennessee threw against Oklahoma State yesterday were just ridiculous.
How about that? A good beginning for Justin Lampkin and the Aggies as Smith goes down on strikes to begin our game.
And no messing around there from Lampkin. He got ahead and he went right to the put-away pitch with the fastball away. He's not going to really nibble around the edges. He's going at guys trying to be efficient with these pitches, get deep in the game.
Donovan LaSalle, the left fielder, next man in. He just about clipped him on the thigh. 5 hits and a couple of home runs for LaSalle on the season. The plate umpire tonight is Ron Teague here in the nightcap. Alex Ziegler at first. Andrew Fulton at second. Joe Harris umpires at third. This event has so many great teams and players, and the tradition is almost unprecedented, 25 years. But it does feel like, Ryan, it's this game, the Saturday night game, that gets a lot of attention and a lot of focus for good reason.
And that's the one they always try to stick one of the local teams in and see if you can get the big crowd. And Saturday night baseball is as good as it gets. The Aggies fans are going to show up no matter where you are.
There's no doubt.
Especially if you're only about 90 minutes away from campus.
They were sneaking in about halfway through the previous game with Arizona and Mississippi State, just trying to get the early run on some seats. And that pitch at the knees, called strike 3. LaSalle may have thought that was down. Lampkin gets the K and back-to-back strikeouts.
That's a pretty good start here for Justin Lampkin, going out there, throwing strikes and not messing around with these hitters, staying within the strike zone, not trying to coax them into chasing out of the zone, just making quality pitches.
And when you have big-time teams, you get some fun matchups. And this is one. Nolan Schubert, the right fielder, has not homered this year. Maybe that's a little bit of a surprise, but that high batting average is not. And he smokes one foul outside of first against Lampkin.
The power is there for Schubert. It's going to show up at some point. When you have the kind of expectations that he has, teams are going to be very careful with you. He's walked a bunch this year. His on-base percentage is over 500, so doing a good job just taking what teams are giving him at this point.
That is a mile-high fly ball into left center. Who wants it? Laviolette there waiting. They put it away. Good beginning for Lampkin and the Ags. Cowboys go in order. And Texas A&M coming to the bat at Dyken Park.
I think I changed my mind about these glasses.
Yeah, it happens. That's why VisionWorks gives you 100 days to change your mind. It's simple. Anything else I can help you with?
Like what?
VisionWorks. See the difference.
Tell me a little bit more about Dylan and Tari, because you are, their chosen coach. You're the one that they work with a lot. What's it like to work with both of them?
Oh, man, I'm fortunate to be able to work with them. I learn a lot, probably more from them than they do from me. I tell you that. Dylan, they're very different. Dylan, he had a big reputation coming in here, to say the least, and he's been really good for us. But I think, his biggest growth has been kind of his post defense and what he's done offensively for us, which has been a pleasant surprise.
Okay, so when you find out that you're going to be Dylan's coach, what was your initial reaction?
Oh, I was excited. I've known Dylan a little bit, just us both being, former Oregon Ducks. So that's something we've had in common. I was excited. Somebody who's competitive, who's a leader, and who every day really strives to be champion.
The Rockets Revolution is on Space City Home Network with live games, pre- and post-game coverage, and exclusive content you can't get anywhere else. Watch Rockets basketball on your Red Nation station, Space City Home Network.
We head to the bottom of the first. Let's take a look at the Texas A&M lineup. And as we mentioned, Michael Early has mixed things up just a bit. Kent, Hensler, and then Laviolette batting third for the first time this season. Bender up, Farr, and Bergevin. Erickson, his first opportunity to play as a collegiate player. Hill and Wright, Bear Harrison behind the plate, and they will go up against Harrison Bodendorf, starter for Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State had to replace its entire rotation coming into this season, so they dipped into the portal, and Harrison Bodendorf came over from Hawaii. He's got a lot of experience. He's a lefty with a very good changeup that's tough on right-handed hitters. He's pitched with some big leads so far this season. It'll be interesting to see if he gets into a tight one, how efficient he can be.
So he traded Hawaii for Stillwater, the lefty out of Temecula, California. Scouting reports fun on him, though. It says he got more whiffs with his changeup than nearly any college player in the nation last year. Facing Caden Kent to begin things, and that's right down the middle for a called strike.
And typically you think of a left-handed pitcher using that changeup only against righties, and he uses it a lot against righties, but it's a good enough pitch that he can throw it and get swings and misses from lefties as well.
I'd like to hear that. Kent had a couple of hits a night ago, a couple of singles, and they were somewhat few and far between. Just 5 hits last night for A&M. They got a 2-run homer from Hensler. And were it not for a pop-up that dropped untouched in foul territory, that would not have occurred. That was it. Tell you what, though, just watching Bodendorf, Brian, the way he kind of contorts his body, that's got to be tough on left-handers. It's almost like he's throwing from that second base position.
There's a lot flying at you if you're a left-handed hitter. He's kind of coiling his body, turning his back to the hitter, and then throwing his foot out there first.
I'm just trying to pick up the baseball on Caden Kent.
Well, that's always objective number one. Even if you want to go up there and take a strike against a guy like this, go out there and just find that release point. Be comfortable seeing the ball.
2 balls and 2 strikes to begin the bottom of the first inning. Boy, that was nasty, and Kent made just enough contact to spoil it and foul it away. Bodendorf, 41 appearances in 2 years at Hawaii, 17 starts, also had 7 saves. More strikeouts than innings pitched, and that's saying something when he threw 114 innings in those 2 years. And misses a little bit high to Kent. The count has gone full.
It's a good at-bat right here from Kent, who's spoiled a really good slider. He's laid off a tough fastball, and seems like he's gotten a little bit more comfortable against this funky delivery.
I want to come back to that delivery after this 3-2 pitch to Caden Kent. Ground ball bounced to Culbertson. He's going to try and cut through it. Unable to make the play. And Kent reaches to begin the bottom of the first inning. Culbertson kind of played that as a do-or-die effort and never did scoop it cleanly.
And these are the kinds of things that the A&M offense has been looking for. There hasn't been a lot of putting the ball in play. Lots of strikeouts for this team so far, and the ability to put the ball in play and see what happens. You can't have good things happen if the ball never gets put in play.
There was one point in our previous game where there were 30 combined strikeouts going to the 9th inning. Wyatt Hensler had the home run yesterday. Just a laser beam to the Crawford boxes in left, in fact above them, for career home run number 56, which ties him for the active college baseball home run lead with Hunter Hines, who actually did not play earlier today. So Wyatt Hensler has a chance to take over that lead.
It's pretty easy power from Hensler too. He doesn't have a very big swing. It doesn't look like he's necessarily trying to lift the baseball. He's pretty short and quick. That home run he hit yesterday looked like it was just a reaction to a pitch that was up and in.
Tell you what, he's representing the Ivy League, even though he's no longer a Penn Quaker. With his success, that was in the dirt. And I was talking about that windup though from Bodendorf, and to go back to it, would it surprise you at all if I told you his favorite player was Barry Zito?
No, not at all. Now that you say that, the leg kick, the arm angle.
It's funny how that works sometimes. You grow up emulating a player, maybe you're left-handed, he is too, and then you kind of take on some of his characteristics. Hensler tried to hold that bat back but could not.
There's that changeup.
Indeed. Can't reach on the air. 1 ball, 2 strikes to the Aggies' third baseman. Next pitch is high, 2-2. And while we talk about this Aggies team having lost 3 straight games and kind of their struggles offensively, it does come with some explanations. Gavin Grahovic would have been a key part of their lineup, out for the year, and that's not the only injury. I mean, they've had to deal with a lot in the last week.
You're going to face adversity throughout the course of the season. It seems like it's kind of piling up for the Aggies right now. It's been a slow start, had some injury news. But just like everybody else in the country, you've just got to find a way to deal with it, find a way to have quality at-bats, quality innings, and just try to scrape out wins any way you can.
And that's why they'd love to get a couple of runs right out of the gates today. An E6 and a hit batter have provided them 2 free base runners for one of the most dangerous hitters in college baseball coming to the plate. With 2 strikes, you'll wear this every day of the week, won't you?
Absolutely. You see that ball coming in off the plate. 2 strikes, you're not going to make much of a move. And this is the exact kind of start that the Aggies wanted to have. Get something going early. Get something positive happening early. Now, you've got to cash in on the opportunity.
Laviolette struck out with a runner on base in the 9th, and his team down a run to end the game. Walked a couple of times, was hit by a pitch. Officially 0 for 2 with the 2 strikeouts. 53 career home runs. Grew up in the Katy area, Tompkins High School down the road about half an hour. The way the roads are jacked up around Houston this weekend, maybe it'd take you an hour. Should be only a half hour. Chase tried to check, did he? No swing, says Joe Harris at third on the appeal. That's not Joe Harris. The umpire rotation on the starting lineup sheet has not been close to right. One ball and a strike to Laviolette. Right over at the knees for a called strike. So Bodendorf would like to pick up an out. This 12th man is going to start to pick up in their intensity and their decibel level. If Laviolette reaches. He goes through that ritual every time. Steps out, takes a deep breath, stares at that bat, climbs back in.
It's that centering breath, trying to regain your focus.
Pitch timer winding down as Laviolette swings late. That was a decision that he just about took the ball out of the glove of Doherty.
That's a swing right there where you can tell a guy's not picking it up very early. A really late swing from Laviolette, just an emergency hack.
That's hard to do, right? Take that ball out of the catcher's glove that late just to spoil it, try and stay alive?
Oh, at some point you don't pull the trigger. It's just not going to happen.
2-2 is elevated again. So Bodendorf has been able to get ahead of these hitters, but he's lost the first 2, including the hit batter to Hensler. Coach Holliday on the top step already. 3 balls, 2 strikes to the Aggies center fielder. Big pitch early in this game. Over the miss. Bodendorf got the K. 1 out.
Bodendorf has shown that he's not going to give in. He's going to continue to go out there and try to make pitches, and even in a 3-2 count, he's going to throw that slider down out of the zone. Pretty confident that he could get the chase.
Look at the sweep. Look at the action on that pitch.
That's a lot of break on a pitch, and it's starting from a spot where, as a left-handed hitter, you're almost opened up a little bit, looking behind you a little bit, trying to find that release point.
It's an interesting time for a mound visit, isn't it, after a strikeout when maybe you found a little rhythm? 10 strikes, 9 balls, kind of fighting his way a little bit through this bottom of the first inning.
It seemed like he found it a little bit, especially on that last pitch, getting on top of that breaking ball a little bit more. This might be a visit to just revisit a scouting report and say, hey, remember, you get down to this part of the lineup. Maybe you weren't so focused on it coming into the first inning, but down in this second half of the lineup, here's how we're going to want to attack guys.
Blake Bender up. moved to the cleanup position. Hit a fly ball to the fence in right that Summerhill for Arizona caught. Looked to be above the yellow line and probably would have been in the first row of the seats if Summerhill wasn't there. Hitting 192 on the season for the College Station native. Oklahoma State now a ground ball away from maybe getting a double play and getting out of this inning. I don't think there's any doubt at some point Texas A&M's offense is going to be lethal, but it isn't now as Benderup takes a strike. And Brian, I think the one thing ball players all struggle with, and maybe we do as fans, media members as well, it's perspective. We understand it's early. We understand there's great talent on this team, but things kind of snowball in certain directions quickly.
And it happens fast, and it's very contagious. And think about the first inning that Texas A&M had yesterday, where they loaded the bases with nobody out, ended up not getting anything out of it with 3 strikeouts. As soon as they got a couple guys on this inning, when it's not going well, the first thing that goes into your mind is, I hope we don't do it again.
No, it's hard to fight that thought process. It was something we discussed with Mississippi State in the previous game. The 1-2 is high because State went through a couple of years coming off a national championship where they didn't even get to a regional. And Chris Lamona said last year it was about expecting to win and not waiting for something bad to happen. But sometimes you need to see something good to happen to believe that.
You've got to remind yourself that situations like this, it's advantageous to the hitter and not something that you should be nervous about.
Ground ball up the middle. Cowboys might be able to get 2. There's 1. Back to first, double play. And right now the Aggies fighting it offensively. 2 free base runners, a strikeout and a double play. And the Cowboys get out of the frame with no damage done.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ariana Amini. I'm a primary care sports medicine doctor with the Memorial Hermann The Woodlands. I love talking about injury prevention with my patients. We talk a lot about how their alignment is going, maybe shoe wear, and so it helps us to really be able to hone in on each individual's needs. Everybody is shaped differently, and their fitness level is going to be different. So talking about hydration, nutrition, different exercises they could do is really a cool part of my field.
Oklahoma State is more than a university. We are a promise to inspire, to demand more from ourselves, and be leaders on a global scale. A promise to create, to solve the world's most complex problems, and to give back to our communities. At OSU, we are a promise to forever be loyal and true. Here at the nation's premier land-grant university, orange is the answer.
What does Texas A&M University stand for? We stand for excellence, respect, and loyalty. We stand for leadership, integrity, and selfless service. We stand for 4 straight hours. We stand up for others. We don't stand by, and we won't stand still. At Texas A&M, we know what we stand for. Come stand with us.
They get them started young in Aggie land, don't they, with their Aggie gear and the Howdy Aggies onesie?
Born in Aggie.
They're no doubt tuning into the free streaming at Astros.com, listening to what Brian Bogusevic has to say about the 12th man. They seem satisfied. They seem pleased. Justin Lampkin back to work. Did not get a run of support after a couple of free base runners to begin the bottom of the first. And this is Jason Jones. And this is a young man I've seen a lot of, going back to his perfect game youth days and then a couple of years at Arkansas. See the 2 homers and 7 RBIs. I thought he was going to be a top 15 pick in the draft a few years ago. Made it to Arkansas and just didn't play much. Jones will lift one off his hands out there to left center, and this will be caught by Laviolette. He came way over to make that grab in front of Erickson for the first out. But sometimes you just need to change the scenery and some opportunities to play.
Absolutely, especially a guy making the transition high school to college. You run into a little bit of a struggle for probably the first time in your life, and to get into a new situation, and the tools are undeniable, and Oklahoma State really thinks they might have found something with Jones.
And Colin Brighamman, the man we featured in the open, all he has done this year is go 14 for 35 with 14 runs batted in. Lefty-lefty matchup, and that's a good pitch down the chute. There are some places that I think everybody would love to hit. Stillwater's one of those. Of course, they had to play through some cold last weekend. They moved a series and played on Monday and Tuesday, which didn't give them a lot of downtime before they came here this weekend. They're just trying to get games in. But Stillwater, one of those great offensive ballparks. And heck, Brighamman hasn't even really been able to take advantage of that yet. He's rung up on strikes from Lampkin, who has struck out 3 of the first 5 that he has faced.
Lampkin's in a nice little groove here to start the game. He's filling up the strike zone with all of his pitches, and it seems like the Oklahoma State hitters are waiting for him to get himself into trouble or get behind in the count, and he's just not allowing it to happen.
Abe Miola, the third baseman, takes a pitch down the middle for a strike. He's 9 hits and 8 runs batted in, does Miola. Floridian playing third base for the Cowboys. Looks like Lampkin has his good stuff early.
Absolutely, and at some point this Oklahoma State offense is going to have to make the adjustment and start getting a little bit more aggressive. There's no point in going up there and taking if it's going to be strike one every time.
Even his missed pitches aren't really that far out of the zone.
If you can miss with a pitch and still get a reaction out of a hitter, that means something. That sets up another pitch. It's not a waste.
Harrison wants those calls to come in quickly. That's why. Keep Lampkin in his rhythm. 6 batters faced. 6 sent down. 4 strikeouts. A good beginning for the Texas A&M left-hander.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check first that you bought seats in the right section. Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Come on. What are you doing? Trying to watch the game, but my screen's busted. You should go to T-Mobile. You can trade in a broken phone, and they'll give you a brand new iPhone 16 Pro on them. Where did you get gum? It was under my seat. When's this thing over?
At T-Mobile, new and existing customers get iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us when you trade in your busted old phone. Plus, families can switch and save 20% versus the other big guys' best plans, plus streaming.
It's over.
What is that? I know that music. Art! Guys, you gotta see this.
One of 5 immersive worlds in Epic Universe, only at Universal Orlando Resort.
Cowboys and Aggies have played a lot of baseball. All-time series, A&M leads at 35-33, so pretty evenly matched. No runs yet. As Texas A&M comes to bat in the bottom of the second, golden opportunity to score in the first, did not do so. Farr, Bergevin, and Erickson will bat here in the second. And Brian, these 3 hitters in their lineup, 5, 6, and 7. Farr will lift one to shallow left, and that catch will be made for the first out. They have combined for 10 at-bats on the season.
It's gotten to that point for the A&M offense where you've got to try something different. It hasn't clicked for them throughout the first couple weeks of the season, so run some new guys out there, some guys that you think have been swinging the bat well in batting practice and in practice, and see if you can get some better results.
It's amazing that you could be the #1 team of the nation, unanimous at the beginning of the year, still #1, and that will change, but you've lost 3 straight games, and all of a sudden that senses that you're running uphill. As Bergevin bats 0 for 1 on the season, but they're still waiting for something to turn it.
You're never going to get through a season without some struggles, without some adversity, but when it happens early, when it happens this soon, it seems to get magnified a little bit.
No, it's a great point. And I was talking with Jake Boss Jr., the longtime baseball coach at Michigan State last weekend. And I thought he just put it in a way that everybody who's ever played baseball at any level would understand. As that baseball falls down into the crowd. Well, we got multiple baseballs. He said you're always just a game away from maybe an 0 for 10. You know, that little skid that takes you 2.5 games where, you know, you're feeling pretty good. Here's an 0 for 10. You know, you think you're climbing out of a slump and, hey, wait a minute, you aren't. And, you know, an 0 for 10 in the grand scheme of things isn't that much, but it's not much fun either.
No, when you step back and take a look at it, you know, through the perspective of an entire season, a couple games of struggle doesn't seem like all that much. But when you're in it and you're in the dugout, man, it's hard to see perspective.
And I would imagine everybody has to fight the tendency not to try to do too much to be the guy to create something. Soft ground ball to Jones at second. And he will throw out Bergevin. And there's 2 gone.
It's a fine line. It's a fine line between really locking in and really trying to focus and trying to press and do too much. It's a sense of urgency without a sense of panic, and you kind of teeter on it.
I like that. I'm going to write that down. A sense of urgency without a sense of panic.
You like that?
That's coach speak. Did you break that on those young kids of yours?
Heard Joe Espada say it one time.
I bet the heartbeat is kicking right now for Sam Erickson, the freshman from Flower Mound, Texas. You go to write his stats in your scorebook before the game, and, well, there aren't any at the college level. Did homer in a couple of fall scrimmages as he waves and misses.
I remember what my heartbeat felt like for my first at bat at the collegiate level. I couldn't imagine what it would have been like if it were in a big league ballpark.
Right. 15,000 people or whatever we're having inside this building tonight, and national television, MLB Network, and hey, Sam, go get him. And it's 1-2. Bodendorf gets a foul ball back to the screen. He hasn't thrown that many more strikes than balls, but trying to find a little rhythm of his own because his counterpart, Justin Lampkin, has set down all 6 that he has faced for Texas A&M. Get a look at the crowd there. Not a lot of empty seats from foul pole to foul pole inside Daikin Park. And there's the wave to miss. Pulled the string again. Erickson K's a perfect inning from Bodendorf. Couple of innings complete in the nightcap. No score between the Cowboys and Anchors.
I think I changed my mind about these glasses.
Yeah, it happens. That's why VisionWorks gives you 100 days to change your mind. It's simple. Anything else I can help you with?
Like what?
VisionWorks. See the difference.
In the quiet corners of our country, everyday people with a love for the outdoors are leaving the world a little better than they found it. These are the unsung heroes of the wetlands, investing their time, their resources, and their hearts into conservation. Join Ducks Unlimited and become part of a community of outdoor enthusiasts committed to preserving our wetlands for the next generations of unsung heroes. A public service from Ducks Unlimited.
Dear employer,
my name is Phil Martin.
My name is Michael Raskovich.
Ronaldo Bird.
Zach Delizer. I am writing to express my excitement at the opportunity to join your team.
As someone on the spectrum,
I may communicate in ways that are different from what you're used to.
I possess a unique set of skills
that sets me apart from other candidates.
Thank you for your consideration.
Catch Astros spring training action on Space City Home Network.
Hey, we're looking for a hit as we go to the 3rd inning between Oklahoma State and Texas A&M. Fun matchup as we go to the top of the 3rd inning. Justin Lampkin back to work. He struck out 4 already. Look at Ian Doherty, Garrett Shull, and Drew Culbertson. Doherty in his 4th season with the Cowboys. Takes that at the top of the zone for a called strike. Kingfisher, Oklahoma. Feels like whether you're in the Big 12 or the SEC, it doesn't matter. You need to be old to win. And these coaches understand it. They say it. They repeat it. You can develop players, but with these rosters going to 34 next year, development has had to take a back seat to being old and getting transfers. There's strike 3. That's 5 Ks through 7 batters for Lampkin.
It's never been more difficult to play early in college baseball than it is right now. The freeness with which players can transfer from team to team. Coaches are out there, and if you can find somebody who's proven at the Division I level, bring that guy in and fill a hole.
There's no doubt, and Garrett Shull will step in. 8 hits on the season. You know, if you had a roster back post-COVID when you have 45 players or whatever, you can still try to develop young guys. Now, you may not get much playing time, and that might create some transfers or issues as Shull waves and misses. But when you're talking about 34 players, full scholarships or not, you don't have that luxury of being able to have 5 or 6 guys that you can develop and not play.
No, if you're on the roster, you're going to have to contribute in some way, and it's difficult for a kid to come in as a true freshman and be able to do that. You either have to have a starting group, an older group that's just penciled in there every day and you know who your 9 guys are going to be, or those freshmen are going to have to get up to speed very quickly.
It makes me wonder if we might enter an era, and I think we're already starting, where two-way players become even that much more valuable. It's something you did at Tulane, and that one's way in, both pitching and playing in the field. If you can find a few of those guys, you might not encourage them to specialize so soon.
Well, absolutely, and the two-way player, it's always been valuable. It used to be because of the scholarship restrictions, but now as we move into roster restrictions.
That ball driven in the air, down the line and left, off the top of the pole. Doink, and Garrett Shull has the game's first hit and the home run from Oklahoma State. He nearly hit the cow.
Garrett Shull trying to hand out free chicken to everybody here at the ballpark. Gets himself a 2-strike pitch that he stays inside just enough to sneak it off the top of the foul pole. And there haven't been many mistakes made by Justin Lampkin up until this point. That's a slider that was meant to get underneath Shull's hands. It stays out over the plate. That's a really nice swing with 2 strikes.
Do you think he's going to remember his first college home run?
I think you would anyways, but the fact that he knocked it off the foul pole here at Daikin Park is going to be even more special.
Yeah, these college hitters, much like the pros, they love those Crawford boxes and that short porch. But no, I'm with you as Drew Culbertson steps in. Played a lot at Missouri in the SEC, but you're right, you know, two-way players were important because of the lack of scholarships, and now it's about just being able to bring something to the table that not every team has.
And that's been with the, obviously, what Shohei Ohtani has become. Even major league teams are starting to think about that. If you're going to be limited in how many players you have access to, a deeper skill set one way or the other is only going to be beneficial.
1-2 to Drew Culbertson. Indiana native, looking for his first hits with Oklahoma State. Played in 48 games, 45 starts with Mizzou a year ago. Fouls one right back to the screen. Everybody up on the top step of that Oklahoma State dugout. Well, that's the old time look, isn't it, with that uniform, with the bat on the chest for these Cowboys. Good pitch, right to miss. One time through the lineup, Justin Lampkin has struck out 6 of the 9 hitters he's faced.
Lampkin's been really sharp, really just the one mistake. He ended up having to pay for it, but a ton of strikes thrown. Now you get second time through. These Oklahoma State hitters have seen him, they know what he's trying to do. I wouldn't be surprised if the hitters just get a little bit more aggressive here second time through.
And Braden Smith struck out his first time in. And there's a ground ball to Farr. Able to gobble it up. Throw out Smith and end the third. Couple of strikeouts and a ground out, but the freshman Garrett Shull with a home run to start the scoring. It's 1-0 Cowboys.
Did they just hop from a baseball game to a show on Max without leaving DirecTV?
It's like all their apps and channels are connected.
Oh, it's all connected. Shows, movies, sports, cooking shows. Oh my God.
Is she talking to us?
Tell me, how does DirecTV put all your favorite stuff on one home screen? Uncanny content suggestions based on your watch history? Or mind control?
Were you recently electrocuted?
A better way to watch whatever you want to watch.
Well, I, for one, am intrigued.
The Texas Children's Houston Open is here. Houston's iconic PGA tournament is back in full swing, March 27th through the 30th, and tickets are on sale now. Get ready for an experience like no other at Memorial Park. The Texas Children's Houston Open is the perfect place to host family, friends, or clients. With general admission, venue hopper, and premium hospitality options available. Visit tchouopen.com/tickets today.
Your Houston Astros are back for 2025. Built for the pursuit of a championship. Come experience the energy, the passion, and the unforgettable moments at Daikin Park. Tickets through June on sale now. Get yours at astros.com/tickets.
Hey, catch all the action on Space City Home Network as the Astros 2025 season kicks off for spring training. Get a sneak peek of the newcomers and the starters. Join Todd, Jeff, and Julia, and even Brian for the latest insights and analysis. Got games against the Nationals, Marlins, and Cardinals coming up. Tell you what, spring training, it never stops. It's one after another. Astros spring training right here live on Space City Home Network. Terrence Kill the second leads off. He was involved in a huge play last night. He takes one down. Brian, he got an infield hit. The throw went down the right field line. He turned at second, tried to get to third. He was thrown out. It took about 10 minutes to review. He had all kinds of technology issues. And of course, had he been safe, he would have been a third representing the tying run with one gone for the top of the lineup, but he was out, and that kind of extinguished some hope.
You can understand the thinking for Terrence Kill. It's one out. You're the tying run. You've got to get yourself onto third with less than 2 outs. But in that situation, you've got to be 100%.
Viola handles the high hopper, and Kill retired, and there's one gone. Aggies trailing 1-0, and you can understand a little bit of the compounding frustration as well. This was a unanimous preseason #1 team, and even this week they were #1. They lost a midweek game to Texas State. They lost on Sunday to Cal Poly, to a good Arizona team last night. But Brian, you were part of a preseason #1 ranked Tulane Green Wave team, so you got a little perspective and idea of what it's like to kind of have that target on your back each and every game.
Well, it's hard because you're going to get everybody's best shot every night, no question about that. But also when you have that preseason #1 ranking, a lot of the goals that are talked about surrounding a team are real big picture goals, long-term goals. Get to Omaha, win a national championship. You guys who are juniors and seniors get drafted. And it's hard to try to live up to that stuff in the moment because you can't do anything about that right now.
You know, it's a great point as Bear Harrison takes one down and out, because when you are a national runner-up, you're anxious to kind of fast forward and get back to that spot again.
And the only way to do that is to kind of have the challenge become more present right in front of you. It's win this pitch, win this at-bat, win this game, not try to get to Omaha on March 1st.
And I think we understand it, but I would agree it's hard to do. It's something that it takes some mental toughness. They got a first-time head coach with all the excitement and energy, and took over when Jim Schlossnagle went to Texas. The 2-2 is in there for strike 3, so Harrison down on strikes, and there's 2 gone. And you know, even he told us this week, you know, we're not making excuses, we've got to grow. But he did say, if I was on the other side, I would smell the blood in the water wanting to play this team right now.
Well, absolutely. Nobody's going to feel sorry for the Texas A&M Aggies. Everybody in the country knows how talented they are. They know how dangerous this team's going to be when they eventually get it all figured out. And in the meantime, they're not going to take it easy on them at all.
He did add, these teams are getting us at an interesting time as Caden Kent steps in and takes strike 1. At some point, though, you have to be excited about the challenge of coming out of the skid rather than Just inevitably waiting for it. That is a fair ball taken by Brueggemann. And Kent retired, and we can't even have a conversation about the Aggies struggling a bit, and they go quickly and in order. We played 3 innings in our nightcap. It's a 1-0 Oklahoma State lead.
Hi, I'm Dr. Noor Alzarka, and I'm a primary care and sports medicine doctor. A good treatment plan starts with an accurate diagnosis. With my years of training and experience in sports medicine, I feel equipped to evaluate and manage and treat most muscular and joint issues or injuries. So first, I will educate my patient about the diagnosis, and next, I will outline a treatment plan. I believe in partnering with my patients to make shared decisions about their health and goals.
Oklahoma State is more than a university. We are a promise to inspire, to demand more from ourselves, and be leaders on a global scale. A promise to create, to solve the world's most complex problems, and to give back to our communities. At OSU, we are a promise to forever be loyal and true. Here at the nation's premier land-grant university, orange is the answer.
What does Texas A&M University stand for? We stand for excellence, respect, and loyalty. We stand for leadership, integrity, and selfless service. We stand for 4 straight hours. We stand up for others. We don't stand by, and we won't stand still. At Texas A&M, we know what we stand for. Come stand with us.
Texas A&M head coach Michael Early joins us. Michael, we appreciate the time. I know this week you told us that part of coaching is mixing that positivity and toughness, kind of that balance of when to push guys, when to get on them. How much have you leaned on that these last couple of days that probably haven't been as much fun as the previous few weeks?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about consistency, and we preach the same message. You make adjustments in the game, whether it be mechanics or things you do at the plate, but just consistency in what we do and how we prepare and how we go about it.
How do you discuss with the players the kind of fine line between buckling down and having that sense of urgency, trying to get things going without getting 20-year-old kids to play tight?
Yeah, there's a fine line between, I mean, there's no lack of care. And I think for baseball players in general, but I think specifically this team, care can be your biggest asset and at times your biggest weakness. And so it's about finding that balance, having that meter and having the courage to care, but to relax, which that's a hard thing to do.
Michael, this is a big battle, so we'll let you go. But good luck with those youth basketball games this week as well.
Appreciate it.
Thanks to Michael Early. Of course, he's coaching his kids' basketball team on Mondays and Wednesdays. What do you say? You get $5 if you are diving on the floor, and you get $10 if you foul out? I think I want to play for him.
You got those fouls, you might as well use them.
Schubert, who flew out to center. Down in the count here, 0-2 against Lampkin, who hit LaSalle to begin this 4th inning. Mike Early is a big Marcus Freeman fan. He came from Indiana, so of course you're a basketball guy, and you know he follows, I think, a lot of how Marcus Freeman kind of conducts himself, and he has this confidence and kind of this energy. A younger head coach, somebody who took over when the head coach left, and there are some similarities there.
Well, absolutely, and one of those similarities is energy. And when you have a young coach, a guy that can really relate to players, that the players feel like they can go take their lead, just showing up every day with that attitude that you're going to go out there and get after it.
1-2 is fouled back and out of play by Schubert.
A lot of these Texas A&M players who were vocal last year during the coaching search that Michael Early was the guy that they wanted to have in that seat.
This roster for A&M would look awfully different were he not the head coach.
You have to figure it pretty much standard protocol would be to enter the portal if you have a coaching change at your school.
Ground ball into the shift, maybe a chance to get 2. That flip took a while. And LaSalle is out. That little shovel took a lot of time from far. And no chance to get Schubert back at first.
The ball just got stuck in the glove there for Sawyer Farr, but a good job by him staying with it, not trying to pull it out and make a bad feed, because that would have just compounded things. Stays with it, takes the extra step, and assures himself of one out.
It was hard for Kent to stay in contact with that bag, and maybe they're going to review this. I mean, he's anticipating that throw coming to him. Now he's trying to almost play first baseman.
Well, that's the footwork that you're using there at the base, is basically getting past second base while you take the feed so that you can clear yourself a lane to throw, and Kent kind of got stuck double clutching, reaching for the bag just a little bit.
We will have a review again probably on that play at second, as LaSalle was trying to get there. And I guess the ball ended up beating the base runner. The question is, did Kent come off the bag? I thought he stayed in contact, but we're going to slow this down, and it's an easy call, isn't it? That foot's got to be in contact with the base. Am I missing it?
Looks pretty clear to me, unless there's another angle from behind that can show some separation, because I don't see it right there.
All right, back to your comment while we wait. You were talking about players kind of looking at their manager, their head coach, for signs of panic. How much did you do that during tough times? Maybe just kind of take a peek at your manager just to see if they were feeling the pressure outwardly.
Good or bad, a team is going to take on the personality of a head coach, and everybody knows when things aren't going the way they're supposed to go, and that's just baseball sometimes. And you kind of look down to the end of the dugout to see, is this just one of those things that's the natural ups and downs of the game, or is this something that we really need to be worried about?
No, it makes perfect sense, and I thought we were close to maybe getting a verdict, but, well, we are. I think the quicker the review, the more it confirms what we thought in real time. So the out is recorded. And Jason Jones will step in. He flew out to center his only time up back in the second.
This is a dangerous at bat for Lampkin right here. Jones, it looked like, saw the ball pretty well off of him, flew out in his first at bat, and kind of went back to the dugout with the look of, man, I just missed that one. It seems like he's pretty comfortable in the box.
There is some legitimate power with Jason Jones. There's some swing and miss. I think part of the problem at Arkansas was getting enough playing time, or having enough success to get more playing time. And part of that is recognizing off speed, not expanding the zone, trying to come into his zone. It looks like he's slimmed down a little bit. Certainly a strong kid. Hit a tremendous home run at Globe Life a couple of weeks ago.
The tools are there. The tools are undeniable. It's about putting it all together, and it's about dealing with failure at some point. Everybody who plays the game is going to go through it. You've just got to learn how to not let things compound and snowball.
Checks on a high one. I put myself in Jason's shoes. I thought going into his senior year of high school, this was going to be not only a first-round pick, but maybe a top half of the first-round pick. He was a high school shortstop. He's played some third, outfield, and second at the college level. But for whatever reason, you go to school and you're probably not ultimately that disappointed, because you're also excited about that. Now all of a sudden you're 3 years in and you're fighting just to have that opportunity that you thought as a junior in high school was going to be an automatic.
Game can turn on you quickly, and as soon as you think you know where you stand in it, it'll correct you a little bit. But the only thing you can do is go out there and play and take advantage of opportunities.
He drives the ball in the gap to right center field. This is trouble. It's down. It's going to go all the way to the bullpen. Schubert is going to turn third, lumbering towards the plate. Jones going for three, in with the triple, and it's 2-0 Cowboys. That's a nice job of two-strike hitting, still getting an extra base hit.
And talking about Jones putting it all together, that's kind of been the element that hasn't been there. The ability to put the bat on the ball with 2 strikes. It's a changeup that stays out over the plate. He doesn't get big. He doesn't try to pull it. Stay through, use your strength, and drive it into the right center field gap. That's a swing that hadn't really been there for the first couple of years of Jones's career.
No, it's a great point. And I think in this new age that we're in baseball, where you're still trying to lift and launch, but you're also understanding the importance of not striking out a lot as Brigham and bats. You don't want to take away power hitters' potential of doing some damage, but there still needs to be that understanding of approach with 2 strikes, where you're not going to be up there just hacking. You're still going to at some point try to adjust, adapt, put the ball in play. and there he did, but still got a triple.
And also recognizing the situation and the matchup. If you're facing the pitcher who's having trouble commanding the zone or being wild within the zone, you can maybe still sit and hope for that mistake, but you're not getting those in these at-bats right here.
Hard hit to third, through the legs of Hensler. Home to score is Jason Jones, and it's a 3-0 Cowboy lead. That ball was hit hard, and Hensler just couldn't secure it. And Oklahoma State has the potential of a big inning brewing.
Murphy's Law right now for the Texas A&M Aggies. They got a tailor-made ground ball earlier in this inning, only end up with 1 out of it. Then the RBI triple, and right there you have a ball where the runner at third base is going to freeze. He's going to stay at third right there. If Hensler secures it, it goes through his legs. Another run in.
Going to be a mound visit. Jason Kelly, former head coach at Washington, LSU pitching coach, comes out for a conversation. And this is what is frustrating, of course, as well for Texas A&M, Brian. Obviously, they haven't scored, haven't had a base hit. But Lampkin was really looking pretty good, even though he was down 1-0 coming into this inning. And now you're really running uphill.
Lampkin looked like he was going to take on that challenge of keeping it with a bunch of zeros on the scoreboard until his offense came around. Now all of a sudden he's given up some hits. The defense hasn't been shored up, and all of a sudden a 3-run deficit seems pretty big for the Aggies right now.
Next in is Aiden Miola. Strikeout victim back in the second. And the throw to first, and Brigham Young, who was not attempted to steal this year, back in standing. Palm Beach Gardens, Florida native. Well, Lampkin pulled the string there. 38 strikes, 11 balls, but he's trailing 3-0. Did it again.
I think as much as that mound visit was, let's calm you down a little bit, it was also to remind Lampkin, you're making quality pitches, keep getting the ball on the ground, let the defense get you out of it.
He's had Miola way out in front, then he comes back with the hard stuff. Slowed him down, sped him up, gets the K. That's a 7. Second out of the inning, and Ian Doherty, the catcher. Strikeout victim, his only time in. Steps into the box. Loser of this game, though, is 0-2 in the first couple of contests here at the College Classic. You go into Sunday not playing with the house's money, you're in a little bit of a desperation mode to get out of here with a win if you lose tonight.
Absolutely. You never want to go into Sunday needing to win. Things can get a little bit dicey sometimes with the pitching backing up a little bit, but you know, somebody's going to go into that game desperate.
There have certainly been some themes in this College Classic, and that was high. We got 2 players alone that have combined for 7 home runs, and Ace Reese just missed what would have been his 3rd of the game previously. How about the domination that Tennessee can play with at times?
They look like a complete team, and they look like a team that doesn't care they won the national championship last year.
Ground ball to third. Hensler with a dive on that soft hit ground ball, and it didn't stay in his glove. It probably wasn't going to be a play either way. But the inning continues as Doherty reaches on what should be an infield base hit.
Hensler's probably not happy that he didn't field that cleanly, but really what he did there was just save a double. That wasn't going to be much of a play at first base, but he keeps 2 runners out of scoring. He keeps first and second instead of second and third.
If anything, the frustration was he had that timed up pretty good as far as where he was lined up to be able to make that play near the line. But here's Garrett Scholl, hit his first college home run off the top of the left field foul pole an inning ago. Two runs home this inning for Oklahoma State. Fly ball to Killen Wright, actually retreating a couple of steps. He'll make the catch. That ball might have carried just a bit on him, but the inning ends. Cowboys strand 2, but they score 2. More work to do for Texas A&M in the bottom of the 4th.
I think I changed my mind about these glasses.
Yeah, it happens. That's why VisionWorks gives you 100 days to change your mind. It's simple. Anything else I can help you with?
Like what?
VisionWorks. See the difference.
Okay, here we go, Daisy. Today's the big day. First day on the job. Time to paint the town purple. Maybe I should have gone with a cape. Nah, too dramatic. This vest says professional and dependable. Spot on for a service dog. I hope my human likes wet kisses and zoomies. 2 years of training, hard work, and fun. Now it's time to put it all into action. If I can handle that big horse, I can handle anything. Especially with this tie. Okay, Ty. Let's show them our true colors. Wait, what shade are you? Plum? Grape? Oh, doesn't matter. I'm ready. All right, let's do this.
Discover how extraordinary dogs like Daisy change lives at no cost to the recipients. Visit dogsinc.org.
The excitement, the emotion, the passion. This is H-Town High School Sports with Todd Freed.
See it all right here on Space City Home Network.
Back in Minute Maid or Daikin Park, Josh Holliday, the Oklahoma State head coach, joins us. And Josh, Justin Lampkin was looking pretty good through 2 innings. Then your freshman Garrett Shull hits one off the foul pole, and it's kick-started a couple of nice innings for the Cowboys.
Yeah, we needed that. He's a very skilled pitcher. You can tell he's pitched in a lot of big games for these guys. He's got a great mix of pitches, and probably more importantly, in today's day and age, he has command of multiple pitches, which makes him really tough. So he's a quality lefty. We saw one yesterday. We're seeing one today. This tournament's been a great challenge for us. But Garrett got us going. That was an impressive swing. And then this last inning, a couple balls, in the gap and on the barrel.
Coach, you got a pretty good lefty going for you today as well. And Bodendorf came in as a transfer in the new landscape of college baseball. How much do you have to balance recruiting through the transfer portal and recruiting, young guys to develop?
I think you hit it on the head with the word balance. Obviously, you want to build a quality roster. And, the definition of a quality roster is one that gives you a chance to go out and compete for a championship. But also, inside of that, there's some patience required to grow really good baseball players. A lot of the older, more experienced players that are really shining around college baseball, at some point they had to start that journey. And some teams are able to get those kids at the end of that experience, and that's a luxury to have. And sometimes you have to build them yourself. And so I think it's somewhere in between, right? And Harrison's provided us tremendous experience transferring in from Hawaii. He's got a lot of innings under his belt, so he'd be an example for us of an immediate guy to come in and offset the loss of 3 starters from last year's rotation.
Ball's tagged into the gap in left center field. It's down, and Hensler's going to cruise into second base with the leadoff double in the 4th. Hey, Josh, we appreciate the time. I'll let you get back to work, but thanks for joining us.
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to ask Josh another question, but I'll let him get back to work when there's a double that kind of kicks everything off in this bottom of the 4th inning.
Every time we do these interviews, that when runners start getting on base, you can tell the tone of the conversation changes a little bit.
Just a great baseball family, though, and it's been a long time, but I called a regional with his dad, Tom Holliday. We were in Lafayette, Louisiana. And it was back in the day when Arizona was there with Jay Johnson, and that was the team that went to the championship series, won the first game, lost to Coastal Carolina. So his old man and I got to spend, I think, 7 games together in steamy Lafayette in June.
The baseball bloodlines in that family are deep. They go 3 generations now, with Jackson Holliday in the major leagues and Ethan probably going to be a pretty high draft pick this year.
The fun part is, as Laviolette steps in, I've mentioned a couple of times, there's a lot of people that coming into this year thought he could be the #1 overall pick. If he's not, it could be because Ethan Holliday could be the guy.
Yeah, and to have the potential to do it twice in the same family within just a couple of years, it's just incredible, and speaks to the depth of baseball knowledge that goes on, and I can't imagine what those conversations at family get-togethers are like.
Did the Uptons go 1 and 2 when those
BJ
brothers?
went 2, Justin went 1.
Jay struck out back in the first. That one sweeps down and away from Bodendorf.
Probably neither of them can hit a ball as far as Matt Holliday at this point, though.
He had a tremendous career. We saw him a little bit during our time frame when he was in St. Louis.
Those teams were so good.
Did Jace offer? Yes, he did. Laviolette can't believe it. Michael Early out of the dugout. He thought he had checked.
You can see what the plan of attack is for Bodendorf against Jace Laviolette. He's going to throw him that slider down and away. He's just confident that if he keeps going to it, eventually he's going to get the swing and miss.
Two is outside. Let's go back and look at this check swing and Brian, tell me what you think.
Looks like the barrel stayed behind the hands just enough, but man, that is pretty close.
That's a big man with some bat speed trying to hold that massive swing back. I guess the point is moot. He ends up taking the walk, and there's a couple of Aggies on base. And I would imagine from the mental health standpoint right now for Texas A&M, a run or two would really go a long ways towards alleviating some of this offensive stress.
Just pushing one across would give a collective exhale from that A&M dugout. And again, it's these situations that are supposed to be positive and advantageous for your hitters. They turn into almost negative type of situations where guys start thinking, oh, I don't know if I want to be the guy that doesn't get it done again. You want to go up there thinking this is the perfect opportunity to hit.
It's that glass half full, glass half empty conversation. And I guess the one thing these Aggies hitters have for the most part, I know a new year is just that. It's different, it's new. But a lot of them do have a track record of success. You can lean back on your past experiences. It's not as if you've forgotten how to play in the last week.
Well, absolutely. These guys know that they can get it done. It's just a matter of kind of breaking through once or twice and letting everybody relax and let ability take over. When you're thinking too much, when you're worried about the situation getting too big, your natural talent can't take over. And these guys are really good hitters. They need to just allow it to work.
Bender up, came up with a couple of guys on base in the first, rolled into a double play. So he bats with 2 runners on, nobody out this inning. That's a nice pitch from Bodendorf. We have a Bodendorf against a Bender up. Infield pretty much straight away all the way around. Cowboys got a couple of runs in the top of this inning to build a 3-0 advantage, but Bender up also represents the tying run. Wave and a miss.
It's been a lot of soft stuff in both of Bender-Up's at bats so far. Jace Laviolette made the adjustment, laid off the 3-2 slider that he saw in the first at bat in his second at bat. See if Bender-Up can lay off some of this soft stuff.
He does not. Down on strikes. Big K for Bodendorf to get the first out of the inning after the double and the walk. And now you get to the slightly untested stretch in this lineup. Sawyer Farr tripled yesterday, flew out to left in his only at bat tonight. Freshman out of Fort Worth.
This is the part of the lineup that Michael Early hopes could provide a little bit of a spark. Some guys that haven't had so much playing time. This is a great opportunity for these guys.
That's a slender right-handed hitter. Take strike one. Might be a freshman. That's an upperclassman mustache for Sawyer Farr. Pause before the pitch, and that's painted on the outside corner for a strike.
Two really good sliders, backdoor sliders. They start in the left-handed batter's box. A right-handed hitter gives up on that pitch out of the hand, and Bodendorf bends it back onto the plate.
The backdoor breaking ball has been the pitch du jour today in all 3 games. We've seen it executed time and time again. Ground ball softly hit, maybe not a true double play bouncer. They'll get one, that's it. Farr didn't hit it hard enough to maybe get doubled off. Hensler to third. Laviolette forced, and there's 2 gone in the inning.
That swing right there is exactly what you will get when you drop those backdoor sliders onto the plate a couple of times. Then all of a sudden you throw that little 2-seam fastball that stays out off of the plate, and you get a weak swing with the rollover ground ball.
Bergevin, the DH, bounced to second. And it's only at bat. 0 for 2 now on the season. Tempe, Arizona native. A transfer from Fairfield. He was at Fairfield each of the last 3 seasons. He was a freshman at Concordia, Portland. I couldn't even tell you what level of baseball that is.
Got me.
I think we had a pitch timer issue, did we? Last year, though, at Fairfield, started 55 games. Drove in 59 runs. He'd love to pick up at least an RBI here to get Texas A&M on the board in the bottom of the 4th inning. Speaking of backdoor pitches, there it is again.
It's a tough pitch to handle in general, but with Bodendorf's mechanics and how far to the first base side his release point is, it's got to feel like it's starting from about a mile away.
It has to. Has to be a pitch that's hard to pick up. Then he paints over the inside corner with a fastball for a called strike.
Now you feel like you're having to cover 34 inches
right.
because the ball's coming from the other batter's box.
Runners on the corners, 2 outs. And that's at the ball. Inside corner, strike 3. Bergevin and the Aggies don't like it. Bodendorf and the Cowboys strand a couple of runners. And this pitch ends the frame, keeps it a 3-0 Cowboys lead.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check your outfit first before meeting your girlfriend's family.
That's a tough one to recover from, Steve. The disappointment on their faces says it all.
Yeah, checking first is smart. Yeah. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Come on. What are you doing? Trying to watch the game, but my screen's busted. You should go to T-Mobile. You can trade in a broken phone, and they'll give you a brand new iPhone 16 Pro on them. Where did you get gum? It was under my seat. When's this thing over?
At T-Mobile, new and existing customers get iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us when you trade in your busted old phone. Plus, families can switch and save 20% versus the other big guys' best plans, plus streaming.
It's over.
Vacationing is an art, and the Palm Beaches are your canvas. Stroll along sun-soaked beaches. Unwind at boutique resorts. Explore hidden and not so hidden gems. Here you'll discover a lifestyle that's nothing short of a masterpiece. Curate your perfect collection of experiences in the Palm Beaches.
Astros or Aggies, Aggies or Astros. Even the little ones. Got to be past that child's bedtime, doesn't it? 8:44 on a Saturday night.
not when there's baseball.
Okay, well said. Culbertson racing up the line, and Brigham can't handle the throw from Lampkin. Well, he was somewhat casual going to get that bunt, and then he had to hurry the throw, and that's a free base run.
It looked like Lampkin thought he was going to have more time than he did. It wasn't a great bunt. It's kind of more to the pitcher's mound than you would want for a base hit, but Culbertson getting down the line well, put a little bit of pressure on Lampkin.
Going to score it in air. And back to the top of the lineup for Braden Smith, the Omaha, Nebraska native. 0 for 2 in the game.
If ever you were going to play a little bit of small ball, hit and run, try to put some pressure on a defense, this just seems like a perfect time for Oklahoma State to try to do that to A&M.
I think you're right, but a hard bunt. Knocked down by Lampkin. He had a hard time getting that ball out of his glove, and he just did get the out at first. That was about as bad of a bunt as you could have that wasn't popped up. And yet Smith just about reached.
The only thing that was good about that bunt was that it kind of fooled Justin Lampkin on how hard it was coming at him. He kind of looked like he thought it was going to skip off of the grass and get to him quickly, but it kind of checked up, and next thing you know, he's fumbling for it on the side of the mound.
We talked about Tennessee earlier and all of the damage they've done. It was late in the game earlier today as LaSalle waves and misses. There was a check swing, trying to hold the bat back. Ball hits the bat, dribbles into right for a hit. Exit velocity was like 59 miles an hour. That bunt was about 59 miles an hour on exit velo. Chopper to third, and this is going to take Hensler near the bag. He did not look the runner back. Gets the out at first, but the throw back to third skips away. And that's another run for Oklahoma State. Hensler made the throw to Bender up, but then once Culbertson decided to take off to third, the throw wasn't on the money, and that's the second error of the inning.
And that's exactly what I was talking about earlier in this inning. If you're the Oklahoma State offense, go ahead and put pressure on the Aggies, and Culbertson gets very aggressive trying to take third on the throw, and Bender up. I don't understand what you're trying to save right there. Yes, you could go get yourself an out. It's not really that much of a difference if there's a runner on third with 2 outs. Unless you're certain you're going to make that play, just hold on to it.
No, it's a good point, and Schubert bats it. Even I thought maybe he didn't look him back. He did, and he just didn't have time to freeze him. He had to throw that ball across the diamond. But you're right. I think the throw back to third was not advised, and it leads to a run.
Especially in this scenario where things don't seem to be going your way, but also every run that A&M gets down seems like it's 5 or 6 runs at this point because the offense just isn't getting it done. So you've really got to try to conserve mistakes.
It's a valid point as the count goes to 2-1 to Schubert. That hill to climb becomes a little steeper.
There's going to be a time during the season where a 4-run deficit feels like nothing to this offense, but it's not now.
Nope, it's not today. And Schubert with a swing and a foul tip at the plate. Cowboys got a run in the third, 2 in the fourth. And they've scored a run here in the fifth without a hit. Fouled away by Schubert. Career batting average over 350 for Nolan Schubert. That's pretty impressive. 40 home runs, multiple time All-American. Became the 13th Cowboy in program history to achieve that feat. There's only 2 Cowboys, though, that have ever been All-Americans 3 times.
Robin Ventura.
Well done. You've got one more.
Pete Incaviglia.
You're pretty good at this. Inky was one of those that went straight to the big leagues, right? From the college ranks.
Probably the greatest college career in the history of college baseball.
Tell you what, it's way up there. Wave to miss. Down goes Schubert. with Mississippi State in attendance. They like that thunder and lightning combination, but Oklahoma State's had some impressive players. But Lampkin wins that battle. Cowboys going to run, though, without a hit.
Did they just hop from a baseball game to a show on Max without leaving DirecTV?
It's like all their apps and channels are connected.
Oh, it's all connected. Shows, movies, sports, cooking shows. Oh my God.
Is she talking to us?
Tell me, how does DirecTV put all your favorite stuff on one home screen? Uncanny content suggestions based on your watch history? Or mind control?
Were you recently electrocuted?
A better way to watch whatever you want to watch.
Well, I, for one, am intrigued.
Let's just get a closer look.
Mom?
Nina, wait!
Five immersive worlds. One amazing theme park. Our universe will never be the same.
Oh, you gotta see this.
Epic Universe, only at Universal Orlando Resort. There's never been a better time to become a season ticket holder for the Houston Astros. The average season ticket holder enjoys 45% savings over single game ticket prices, plus significant savings at the team store with exclusive season ticket holder discounts. Along with exclusive experiences and events, season ticket holders get priority access to postseason tickets. Become a season ticket holder today. Visit astros.com/season tickets for more information.
We have Cowboys and Aggies coexisting. Grandpa was up there during the dance cam. He was getting after it for a while, but he sat down before we were able to put him on TV.
Of course he's having a good time. He's an Oklahoma State fan tonight.
He should be. 4 runs on 3 hits for those Cowboys. And no doubt, I've said this a couple of times already, I'm kind of beating that drum, but A&M would just love something offensively to get a run or 2 on the board. 7, 8, and 9 to up this inning. Erickson got his first college at bat in the second, Brian, and he saw a dose of changeups.
And that's just a veteran move by Bodendorf. You get a kid making not only his college debut, but doing it in a big league stadium. You could see the anxiousness squeezing the bat as tight as he could, and Bodendorf dropped a couple changeups on him.
Use that aggressiveness against him. Good pitch for a strike over the outside corner.
My first major league at bat felt the same way. Jeff Suppan. Changeup.
I might have been calling that for all I know. Hey, by the way, happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
A few days back. I know that because I share the same birthday as you.
So do you always feel like that's the official start of baseball season? Because that was always right around
pretty close.
Report date for spring training.
Everything's getting pushed up now in today's baseball. We're playing spring training games in February, playing regular season games in March, playing postseason games in November. Fan played the carom on that foul ball. He's debating what to do with it. Should he keep it? Should he give it to the kids near him? There's some pressure involved in that decision too.
He knows he should give it to the kid, but he really wants it.
That's exactly it. That's the conundrum. 2-2 to Erickson. Waves and misses. Boy, that's slow. Bender had Erickson locked up. That's 6 Ks for Bodendorf, the Hawaii transfer.
That's a good pitch to anybody. Take a little bit off of the breaking ball, drop it right on top of home plate. It's going to be tough for anybody to lay back on it, let alone a kid playing his first college game.
You're going to feel like you could swing twice on this pitch.
It's such a good location for a slow breaking ball to drop it into the dirt, but over the plate. It's easy to take a pitch that's way off. It's hard to lay off a pitch that's right over the plate.
I'll say it again. That backdoor pitch has been the offering of the day here at Daikin Park.
These right-handed hitters just can't convince themselves to pull the trigger on that pitch.
Kill watches that hit the outside corner. I mean, Pat Combs was with me before, and he's like, Brett, if it's not broken, don't fix it. Keep doing it.
Just keep wearing it out. He's obviously got a good feel for the release point, and now you're in a tough situation because you know he's going to throw eventually a 2-seamer that stays out there.
He was really trying to make a fool out of Kill to see if he would chase that one. Terrence bounced to third his only time in. Atlanta native. 6 strikeouts for Bodendorf. That was a late swing by Kill to make contact.
Looked like Kill was waiting for that pitch to break, looking for
right.
for the spin on it, and it never happened, and he realized that it was going to stay over the plate. He needed to swing.
It puts you in slightly a defensive mode too. That one wasn't coming back.
One thing you want to know as a hitter when you're facing a pitcher is, where does the breaking ball have to start for me to swing at it? Where does it have to be? Does it have to be up? Does it have to be out over the plate? If the answer to that question is out in the left-handed batter's box, that's a really tough thing to convince yourself of.
It's not going to be a fun night. Wave and a miss. 7 strikeouts for Bodendorf. And he continues to kind of baffle these Aggies hitters. And, you know, for a team that was trying to find something offensively with some of the frustrations of losing 3 straight games, he's only exacerbated it.
When you go out there and you can sense that an offense is struggling a little bit, getting ahead in the count really plays into your favor, because all of a sudden you can see the hitters just kind of get deflated from the first pitch of the at-bat, knowing, oh, here we go again. I'm 0-1 again.
The countenance is heavy. Here, Harrison, the Californian, struck out looking his only time in. There was a stretch in which Bodendorf did not have a big disparity between the number of strikes and balls he has thrown. He's getting a little separation now as he's crossed to 81 pitches. Trying to settle in. Remember, he had a couple of base runners in the first with nobody out. A&M didn't score. They had 2 base runners aboard Bryan in the 4th with nobody out and did not score.
There was a time, first inning or so, when it was kind of effectively wild for Bodendorf. Everything was moving and he couldn't really locate really well, but the stuff was good enough that he was getting by. He's since really locked in.
Just missed off the corner, 3-1. And it's one of these stretches of the year for most of these starters, their 3rd start, where, you know, maybe that first one you go 75-ish pitches if you're effective, and then you might build up to 85, 90, maybe 100 that 3rd start. You know, sometimes you might want to get a guy out if he's been effective after 5 innings or 6 innings, but we're almost getting to that point where you can really turn them loose.
Yeah, if you compare it to building a pitcher up in spring training, which is a much longer on-ramp to the season than the college pitchers have, it's usually 15 to 20 pitches that you add every outing, and at this point for the college guys, they're pretty much where they need to be.
Good point. High fly, shallow center. The wind's working this a little bit, but Smith will make the catch. Aggies go in order. 1 hit so far tonight for Texas A&M, and it's a 4-0 Oklahoma State lead.
There's nothing better than a game. A great tasting Miller Lite.
It's less filling, Miller Lite.
Tastes great.
Never understood this argument. Let it be both. Miller and Miller. I like it.
Maybe it was a family vacation or a school field trip. But there you were, standing in awe at a national park. We are the National Park Foundation, and together with you, we're creating a future where every person, every generation, gets their chance at an unforgettable moment. Today, tomorrow, forever. Learn more at nationalparks.org/foundation.
When he has cancer in his brain.
It was like, you know, why me? Why my child? But at St. Jude, it's a huge mental relief that all of my child's care is taken without any bills. It is a huge blessing.
It was all about keeping him alive, and it was all focused on him.
St. Jude is a place where my child's life was saved. It's like the holy place for me.
There you go. They don't quiet the crowd in a hurry. Dylan, the villain. Another 3. 4 of them. He's got 16. The Rockets are rolling.
5 complete. On we go to the 6th from downtown H-Town. 4-0 Oklahoma State in front. 3 more games to go tomorrow in the Astros Foundation College Classic. Tennessee and Arizona going to crank it up first. Vols looking for their 3rd win. Higbee, we got a couple of 2-0 teams in game 1, Brian.
That's going to be a really good matchup. Tennessee has looked as advertised, but Arizona, I think, has surprised some people. They've played some pretty good baseball the first 2 days.
And you're with me for games 2 and 3 tomorrow?
Yep.
We'll get settled in nicely. Jason Jones leads off the top of the 6th. Tripled in a run in the 4th and would score. Cowboys came in 4-4. Jones will shoot one out to left. I thought he got jammed a bit, and that still carries to the track where Erickson hauls it in for the first out of the inning.
Jones has had some really nice swings today. The 2 outs that he's made, he's just missed balls out there into the left center field gap. And then, of course, when he tried the right center field gap, found himself a triple.
We saw that smile. That was him saying, I got that just a little bit on the hands, just missed it. There's Brigham. All he did yesterday was finish a triple shy of the cycle in what was a 5-2 loss to Tennessee. Got a pitch to hit and swings through it. One thing Coach Holliday told us a couple of days ago, he wanted his team to be more complete in how they compete, which is almost as good as Brian's sense of urgency without a sense of panic, as I write down some coaching sayings. But I think he'd be happy tonight with how they've competed and how they have approached this game.
Well, they've competed in a lot of different ways as well. The at-bats have been very good. The pitching has been very good for Oklahoma State, and they've made things happen on the bases. They've not taken anything for granted. At any time that a player has gotten on base, you can see the sense of, I need to get myself another 90 feet closer.
No, it's a good point. And you mentioned, I think just last half inning, about how these pitchers don't have a lot of ramp up time in comparison to what big league spring training is like. And the one thing Josh told us, he didn't feel like these players have kind of ramped up that competitive endurance. And for a team like Oklahoma State, and there's a chopper to short. Kent's going to come through that nicely, but the throw bounces by Benderup. And the Aggies have made 3 errors already tonight, and that'll be number 4.
It's a good job by Kent coming to get that ball. He just rushed the throw a little bit, probably had a little bit more time. Throws on the run, and just Benderup not able to pick it out of the dirt.
Base runner at second with 1 out. And the one thing Josh Holliday continued, he said, talked about being conditioned to compete. You should see Kent's throw, trying to rush that a bit, and Benderup didn't make it. But you're out there for a couple of weeks. Sometimes in certain parts of the country, you're not even outdoors. You're getting some at bats in a cage or maybe an indoor facility if you're in the SEC. And then all of a sudden for Oklahoma State, they're playing 3 games in Globe Life at a big league park against outstanding competition. They come here and they do the same thing, and all of a sudden you go right into that fight.
It's so different in college baseball versus professional baseball. Professional baseball, you have the full 4 or 5 weeks of spring training. There's a lot of games. You get a lot of at-bats under your belt, and by the time the season starts, it really feels like you're almost in mid-season form. And in college, it's just not the case at all. You're lucky to get a handful of at-bats. They're coming in inner squads, against your same guys. There's no real outside competition. And then all of a sudden, full go from day one. It's difficult to go from 0 to 100 like that.
Viola will wave and miss. Played number 8 Clemson in game 1, then Louisville, number 13 Texas, and of course come here and get A&M and Tennessee and Mississippi State. And the one thing I was going to ask Josh before that inning started to get away from him a little bit, Hensler had the double that was the first Aggies hit, and we let him go. And here's Doherty with 2 outs. Big 12 is a good conference, Brian. It's a really good baseball conference. It obviously doesn't get the attention or maybe the number of teams in the rankings as the SEC. I'm wondering, as a Big 12 team, you get this opportunity. It means a little more, to borrow that SEC slogan. If you can knock off these SEC teams, it's going to help your strength of schedule. And come tournament time, that's a big plus in your favor.
Well, when you're a team like Oklahoma State and you're going to be in the mix as a host site every year, those non-conference games against quality opponents, They mean a lot, and it's going to be a bit of a grinder going through the Big 12, but to try to rack up wins early in the season against the out-of-conference competition is going to provide for a really good case come postseason time.
I would agree. And it's one thing Chris Lamone has told us this week, too. Obviously, these teams in this event want to be in the regionals. But to get to Omaha, oftentimes it feels like you need to host. And if you host and you're a top 8 seed, you have a chance then to win and then host a super. Doherty will wave and miss. And Lampkin gets a couple of strikeouts to end that 6th inning. And the Cowboys failed to add to their lead, but it's still 4-0.
The Texas Children's Houston Open is here. Houston's iconic PGA tournament is back in full swing, March 27th through the 30th, and tickets are on sale now. Get ready for an experience like no other at Memorial Park. The Texas Children's Houston Open is the perfect place to host family, friends, or clients. With general admission, venue hopper, and premium hospitality options available. Visit tchouopen.com/tickets today.
Your Houston Astros are back for 2025. Built for the pursuit of a championship. Come experience the energy, the passion, and the unforgettable moments at Daikin Park. Tickets through June on sale now. Get yours at astros.com/tickets.
So, do you, do tricks?
No, Richard, I'm a genius. I'm not doing tricks for you.
Right.
Oh, all right, fine. I'll show you one trick. Toss me your phone.
Okay, here we go. NerdWallet will find the right credit card or auto insurance for you in minutes.
Yep, just by answering a few simple questions.
Wow, smart.
Yeah, it's smart. It's genius, Richard.
Genius, Richard.
Genius! Nerds!
Nothing gets fans up holding their babies to the sky like Simba can inside Daikin Park. I just wanted her to hold on tight.
It's a bad day at the ballpark if you drop a baby.
Oh, boy, yes. I mean, dropping a foul ball is one thing. Dropping a baby, not advised. And by the way, what's going on here with Bodendorf? He finished his warm-up tosses, and Josh Halliday comes out to the mound, and here comes the trainer as well. I didn't see if he had a facial expression on one of his warm-up pitches that didn't look right, or whether his catcher also might have made a gesture to the dugout.
It looks like Bodendorf was trying to talk his way into just give me one or two more, I'm fine.
He's thrown 5 scoreless innings, navigated through some base runners. Aggies have left 3. It's one of those rare cases where you go through your full complement of warm-up pitches, and then they come out there and they say, well, throw a few more to see if you're okay.
He doesn't seem to be favoring anything out there. I don't know if the Oklahoma State coaching staff liked what they saw there.
Yeah, I think he's being told he might be done. He's at that point, though, where he's pitched well. That pitch count probably in the low 80 range. So if he has to come out of this game, he's still done a full night's work.
Yeah, I'd imagine if he was going to stay in, the coaching staff would have been off the field by now.
85 pitches for Bodendorf. Well, at some point, if you're Ron Teague, the plate umpire, you might want to get a verdict. I thought a couple of times his body language was saying he was done, but our umpiring crew has not made that call to the bullpen out there in left center. You can hide out there in that pen a little bit, pretend like you didn't see the umpire's motion, but you can't hide forever.
Bodendorf's still out there. He didn't leave the field with the trainer.
Tell you what, Ron Teague, the plate umpire, looks like he's breaking up the Cowboy infielders with the jokes, not by telling them we have to start play at some point. All right, we will have a pitching change, so that is it for Bodendorf. Hopefully nothing is wrong from an injury standpoint. We'll take a pitching change break.
Attention, please, the new pitcher for Oklahoma State, number 32, Drew Blake.
Oklahoma State with a 4-0 lead over Texas A&M. Bodendorf will leave, so I would imagine this could be an unlimited number of warm-up pitches. But Brian Bodendorf was really good in his 5 innings.
Well, he had it all working today. It started off with him being able to locate his fastball in the strike zone, but after that, it was the off-speed stuff that really took center stage. His changeup was really good, taking something off of it, dropping it onto the plate, but it was that slider late in the game, able to throw it backdoor onto the plate for strikes early in the count, expand the zone with it when he wanted, and he really had the Texas A&M hitters off balance. They didn't know if they should be looking for something that started off and ended up on, or trying to find something on and lay off of it once it broke off, and Bodendorf just stayed one step ahead the entire time.
And gave up just the one hit, the double by Hensler, that led off the 4th inning that rocketed out towards center. Otherwise, that was it. It was added to the Aggie frustration a little bit from an offensive standpoint. And Texas A&M was about to go through the lineup for the 3rd time. Whenever that long conversation commenced.
One of the things you look at when you're judging a pitcher's outing is how often was he in stressful situations? How many high leverage pitches did he have to throw? After that 1st inning, it seemed like it was pretty much smooth sailing the whole way for Bodendorf.
And there were a couple of times with his back to the wall where he really made his better pitches of the night.
Absolutely. There was no give-in from Bodendorf. When it came down to it, he knew what his plan was, what his pitch was that he wanted to go to, and it was just about executing. He wasn't going to give in and just give the hitter what they were looking for.
I thought Blake was about done with his warm-up tosses, but our umpire's now in a long conversation with Michael Early. So Ron Teague's conversation is now on the other side of the field, and Blake says, well, I'm going to keep throwing. Earlier today, Tennessee took down Rice. Good ball game with Arizona defeating Mississippi State 6-5. The Bulldogs had runners at 2nd and 3rd, Brian, with 1 out in the 9th. Basic could have won the game, and they didn't get it done.
That Mississippi State offense really showed up the second half of the game. Looked like they might have enough in it. Ball hit right at the left fielder to end the game.
Caden Kent leads off. First pitch. Big hop for Brigham, able to secure it against his jersey and brings it back to the bag to retire Kent, who's 0 for 3, and that's how the bottom of the 6th begins.
Sometimes for a struggling offense, you just want to see something different. A&M couldn't really get a whole lot going the first half of this game, but with Bodendorf coming out, if anything, you got to feel like maybe we've got a better chance against the bullpen.
You are a glass half full guy. I'm probably a glass half empty. But, you know, I think that's the thought process. What do they say? Fake it until you make it?
If you spent enough time in hitting slumps as I have in my life, you'd have to find the half full side.
You're speaking from the pulpit now. Hensler had the double in the 4th. The lone Aggies hit. He homered last night, so Brian, he has accounted for the only hit tonight and the only 2 RBIs last night. Two-strike pitch. Missed in. This is the 12th all-time appearance in the 25 years for Texas A&M in the College Classic. Not been a fun start. There's still time for them to come back, and as much as we like to think about breaking out of a bit of a skid, sometimes it's one win, though, that collectively can kind of lighten the load and maybe turn that battleship around.
It works the same way for a team as it does for an individual player. Just one swing, one feel at the plate could allow a hitter to break out of a slump. One win can allow an entire clubhouse to exhale and relax a little bit and just go out there and play.
Especially if it's a come from behind effort, or one maybe you feel like you're kind of stealing back. Hansel's going to wave and miss. So Blake gets the K after the ground out. He set down the first two Aggie hitters he's faced.
It's a good breaking ball there from Blake, and I'm sure there's communication between the dugout and the bullpen throughout the course of the game. And once they saw Bodendorf start having a lot of success with that left-handed breaking ball, that was something that they wanted to continue once the relievers came in.
Front door strike to Laviolette, who's walked and struck out. Is it just me, or are we seeing some really good pitching as well today?
Absolutely, and the stuff across college baseball in general has just gotten so much better over the years, and these high-end programs have a lot of high-end arms.
And there's depth in velocity and the numbers of pitchers. As Oklahoma State goes into the shift here against Jace. Coach Holliday, he's had a lot of success. 42 wins a year ago. This Aggies team won 53 games. Laviolette, though, is not having much fun tonight. Down on strikes. K for the second time. That was a nice frame from Blake coming on in relief. Gets this game to the 7th. Still 4-0 Oklahoma State.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the game is actually over before you storm the court. Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
What is that? I know that music. Art! Guys, you gotta see this.
One of 5 immersive worlds in Epic Universe, only at Universal Orlando Resort.
Come on. What are you doing? Trying to watch the game, but my screen's busted. You should go to T-Mobile. You can trade in a broken phone, and they'll give you a brand new iPhone 16 Pro on them. Where did you get gum?
It was under my seat. When's this thing over?
At T-Mobile, new and existing customers get iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us when you trade in your busted old phone. Plus, families can switch and save 20% versus the other big guys' best plans, plus streaming.
It's over.
Well, how about a kiss right as we come back in the top of the 7th inning?
No thanks.
It wasn't an offer. It wasn't an invitation. Nonetheless, the one thing I love about this ballpark, Brian, is just the number of places. We caught some fans way out there in the walkway, in left center, not far from the pump. We got the Crawford boxes, a little bit of everything. And then, speaking of the Crawford boxes, thought Garrett Shaw was going to hit one into the boxes. Instead, he almost hit the cow on top of the pole.
If it wasn't for the foul pole out there, he might have cleared the entire Crawford boxes out onto the train tracks. That was a great swing. And another 2-strike swing, a nice short swing. It's amazing what you can do when you just throw the barrel at the ball with 2 strikes.
He leads off the 7th inning, and Lampkin's gone back to work. So this is inning number 7 for Lampkin, who entered with 84 pitches. Only thrown 18 balls all night, yet he's trailing 4-0. Fought off and fouled back.
Lampkin's certainly done his part. He's thrown the ball well. Obviously, the offense hasn't helped him out at all. The defense hasn't picked him up, and some of that was his doing as well. But in terms of what the Aggies have gotten from him on the mound, it's been really good.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to like when you dissect his outing. And the home run in the 3rd was the first base hit the Cowboys had all game. They got the couple of runs in the 4th, and Air contributed. a run on 2 errors and no hits in the 5th.
It was really the one mistake. The home run to Shaw was a ball that stayed out over the plate when it shouldn't have, but the double by Jones was a pretty good pitch. The other runs were scored with the help of some poor defense.
Is this going to drop? It did. And Shaw's going to try to get to second base, and that was not a good decision. 3 Aggies converged and couldn't catch the bloop. But he kept right on running, trying to hustle that into a double. And he's retired.
Well, you like the effort here from Shaw. He's hustling out of the box. He feels like that ball has a chance to drop in that Bermuda Triangle, and it does. But once Kill is able to pick it up pretty cleanly, that's a pretty easy toss over there to second base.
Culbertson racing up the line and beats it again. He dropped down a bunt in the 5th and reached on a throwing error, playing some small ball at the bottom of the lineup.
Drew Culbertson is obviously of the mind that if he can put the ball on the ground and get out of the batter's box cleanly, he can beat the throw. And that was a pretty good bunt. Bear Harrison's only play was to go and try to field that on the run and toss it over to first base. It's a tough angle for a catcher.
Yeah, he just didn't have the angle. That was part of the problem. Last thing he wanted to do was throw it into the back of Culbertson and rolled away, because already there have been 4 errors tonight on Texas A&M. You know, last night I was pointing out that it's easy to discuss maybe the lack of hitting, but A&M had recorded 11 errors entering the game last night. They played an errorless game, but tonight now 4.
And that's what you worry about as a head coach, is the at-bats starting to take themselves out into the field. This is a team that can play defense. They're not a bunch of guys who are positionless or being moved around just to get the bats in there. It's a quality defensive team, but with the struggles at the plate a little bit, you can see the frustration building and maybe the concentration wavering just a little bit out there in the field.
Another throw to first, and Culbertson back in diving. Braden Smith is 0 for 2 with a sacrifice. Culbertson is running from his knees. Harrison will throw, and it's not in time. We've been able to see that speed in multiple ways from Culbertson.
Culbertson picked a good pitch to run on right there. He got himself a good jump. It was a breaking ball that Harrison had to reach kind of down on his glove side for. It's a tough pitch to make a transfer on.
Went to the back corner of the base.
Braden Smith's got a little bit of Juan Soto feet there in the batter's box after his swings and takes.
Little dance.
Wish he had his paycheck.
Fraction it. Rolled or fouled outside of first. I don't know if that deal's going to work out in the end from the dollar figure allotment and where Soto may end up playing, but Mets have not been shy about overspending.
No, when you have a new owner and a new owner with deep pockets, it's a good recipe to go out there and buy some talent, and the Mets have gone out there and they've spent.
The 1-2 runs outside to Braden Smith. One out here in the top of the 7th. Sprayed down the line and left, but that's off the screen in front of the seats. Braden Smith spent a couple of years in junior college at Iowa Western. Got to play 111 games at over 400 with 22 homers in those 2 seasons. Lifts the ball in the air to right center field. Long run for Laviolette, able to track it down. The big man can cover some ground in the outfield, and there's 2 outs.
Laviolette went a long way right there. The outfield was playing Braden Smith to go the other way, and that ball in the right center field gap. Laviolette has to go far to his left to get in. You could see the runner at second base got off quite a bit. It kind of fooled him a little bit. He thought that ball was going to be down in the gap.
You know, you would know this as a guy who played a lot of outfield, that the center fielder will call it. It's his ball until he decides otherwise. But I'm going to tell you what, if I'm in left or I'm in right, I'm getting out of his way. I'm not letting that guy steamroll me.
I want no part of that.
97 pitches for Justin Lampkin, and that will do it. I think there's a lot to like about his performance. Probably not happy he leaves trailing 4-0. Aggies make a pitching change. We'll be right back with a new hurler after this.
What is that? I know that music. Art! Guys, you gotta see this.
One of 5 immersive worlds in Epic Universe, only at Universal Orlando Resort.
Come on.
What are you doing?
Trying to watch the game, but my screen's busted.
You should go to T-Mobile. You can trade in a broken phone, and they'll give you a brand new iPhone 16 Pro on them. Where did you get gum?
I was under my seat. When's this thing over?
At T-Mobile, new and existing customers get iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us when you trade in your busted old phone. Plus, families can switch and save 20% versus the other big guys' best plans, plus streaming.
It's over.
Whataburger, please print back the Monterey melt. Print back. Okay, yeah. Message received. We're printing it back. Grilled peppers and onions, 2 slices of melty cheese, and jalapeno ranch on 2 fresh beef patties. Print it on. The Whataburger Monterey melt is back. We brunched it all right. What a burger.
Become a party at the ballpark tonight on a beautiful Saturday evening in downtown H-Town. Cowboy fans have had a little more fun, though. They lead 4-0 here in the 7th. New pitcher comes on for A&M, an Austin native out of Lake Travis High School, Luke Jackson.
Luke Jackson's a righty with really good stuff. He's got a fastball that plays in the mid to upper 90s, kind of explodes out of his hand. He's got a slider that he can open up and get some really good side-to-side movement on it, and a changeup that'll turn over and get some drop on it. So good stuff coming out of the bullpen right here for the Aggies.
Donovan LaSalle, the left fielder, is the batter. He's 0 for 2 and been hit by a pitch. Lake Charles, Louisiana native. Without knowing and without looking it up, he's got to be a Barb High School product, right? If you're a baseball player coming out of Lake Charles.
Every player that comes out of Lake Charles went to Barb.
Do you have a few teammates in your Tulane days that...
Oh, we had 4 or 5 of them on every team. They'd win a state championship, and then they'd just split up between LSU and Tulane.
Barb High School. I looked it up just for the sake of completion. You ever get a chance to see their facilities?
No.
Pretty nice.
When I'm on I-10,
understood.
I keep going.
No, yeah, well, there's enough natural stoppages on I-10. 1 ball, 2 strikes to LaSalle. Jackson trying to send this to the stretch. That's down to shoot. Called strike 3 in the inning in. So a couple of singles, but the Cowboys do not score. Let's see if Texas A&M can fight their way back into this game down 4-0.
Chipotle's braised beef barbacoa might be our best kept secret. Slow cooked, responsibly raised beef, seasoned with garlic and cumin. Hand shredded for fall off the fork tenderness. Chipotle's braised beef barbacoa. If you know, you know.
Dear employer.
My name is Phil Martin.
My name is Michael Raskovich.
Ronaldo Bird.
Zach Deiser. I am writing to express my excitement at the opportunity to join your team.
As someone on the spectrum,
I possess a unique set of skills
that sets me apart from other candidates.
My detail-oriented nature allows me to communicate complex ideas,
To break down data.
To have no fear in meeting new people.
I may communicate in ways that are different from what you're used to.
Structure, routine,
and clear expectation.
Help me do my best work.
My autism allows me to have a perspective that needs to be seen and heard.
It allows me to make the world safer and improve systems in ways others can't.
It allows me to bring people's inner worlds to life with my artwork.
My autism
will bring your team important insights.
Thank you for your consideration.
Catch Astros spring training action on Space City Home Network.
Everybody's stretched out here at Daikin Park in downtown Houston. 4-0 Cowboys lead Texas A&M. Each of these teams lost yesterday, so Cowboys trying to get in the win column. One Aggie hit to this point. Bender up is hit into a double play and struck out. He'll lead off the bottom of the 7th inning. Blake came on in relief in the 6th that retired all 3 that he faced with a couple of strikeouts.
And Drew Blake came in, picked right up where Bodendorf left off, and some quality left-handed stuff, dropping that breaking ball in, getting chases late, and the Aggies haven't had any answers for this Oklahoma State pitching.
In fact, they have had just 2 base runners in scoring position all game long. Wave and a miss. Last night 5 hits, tonight 1, and Michael Early did change up his lineup a couple of different spots. It's a check swing but a full strike, and a strikeout begins the bottom of the 7th inning.
Talking that lack of opportunities with runners in scoring position, not only are you not giving yourself a chance to get a big hit and drive some runs in, you're not giving the opposing pitchers a chance to crack and lose their command or make a mistake. There's just hasn't been enough situations where the pressure has been on the Oklahoma State pitching staff.
Well explained as Sawyer Farr steps in and shows bunt but takes a strike. And when a team is not hitting, it does kind of suck the life out of the sails, so to speak, of the ship. And that one is chopped foul. Just doesn't create the opportunities for base runners or to do anything with a few base runners here or there, and then deficits don't help. Farr is 0 for 2 in the 2-strike pitch. Carves him up. Strike 3, tag is applied, and that is 4 straight strikeouts by Blake.
Those are some well-executed sliders by Blake. He's throwing it for a strike, putting it right on the corner, making these A&M hitters feel like they have to deal with that pitch down and in, and as soon as they do, he throws one just a little bit further down that you're going to swing over the top of.
Well, he's ready to go to work, and you don't blame Bergevin for stepping out. I was talking about this young man last time through. Started at Concordia in Portland. Wondering what that was, and got a quick text. It is indeed D2 baseball. Newer ballpark with a center field distance akin to the Polo Grounds. There's a smash in the center for a base hit. Wasn't quite the Polo Grounds, but Bergevin gets a base hit. How about the Aggie roar from the 12th man on the 2nd hit of the night?
Swing woke up the fans a little bit. Let's see if it can wake up the rest of this A&M offense.
By the way, they did transition from NAIA to D2 a couple of years ago. So Concordia and Portland in the house tonight. So are the Aggie fans, and they're happy to get a 2-out single, especially after 4 straight had struck out, and going to have a pitch runner as well. Ben Royo, I believe, is the runner at first. Well, the journey of a couple of miles begins with a single step. So we'll see if that is something to build on or just a 2-out single. Sam Erickson making his first college appearance tonight in the starting lineup, was 0 for 2 with a couple of Ks.
It's been a lot of off speed that both Oklahoma State pitchers have shown Erickson in his first couple of at-bats.
Nice job by Doherty to block that ball. There's the pitch runner, Ben Royal. Rice transfer, Corpus Christi native. Erickson with a big wave and a miss. He has kind of a unique stance when he starts, where he really leans back. Almost looks like a bit of an uncomfortable stance. Umpire told him he had to be engaged with the hitter, but you'll see it here as well from Erickson.
Remember Aaron Rowan used to really lean back,
exactly.
look like he was trying to get his back stretched out.
I was going along those lines. He has a build a little bit like Aaron Rowan too. Maybe a little shorter. That's the fun thing about baseball. There's always a comp from a body standpoint, from a frame, maybe a talent level. One ball, 2 strikes the count. Blake trying to put up another 0. Gets a soft tapper foul near the Oklahoma State dugout. We'll do it again.
Pretty well located slider from Blake right there, but there's more that he can get down and in right there. There was just enough that Erickson was able to foul it off, but if he can throw one in a similar spot, there's still room to go down and in to get the swing and miss over the top.
Hit well, but playable right center. Smith in the gap makes the catch. Aggie's going to hit when they strand a runner. 7 complete. Still a 4-run Cowboy advantage.
Hi, I'm Dr. Bonnie Gregory. I'm a fellowship-trained orthopedic surgeon and sports medicine specialist. I think one of the most important parts of caring for both athletes and patients is coming up with an accurate diagnosis, and then after making that diagnosis, taking into consideration a patient's demands, activity, interest, as well as for my athletes' time of season and goals to make the best patient-centered plan possible.
Did they just hop from a baseball game to a show on Max without leaving DirecTV?
It's like all their apps and channels are connected?
Oh, it's all connected. Shows, movies, sports, cooking shows. Oh my God.
Is she talking to us?
Tell me, how does DirecTV put all your favorite stuff on one home screen? Uncanny content suggestions based on your watch history? Or mind control?
Were you recently electrocuted?
A better way to watch whatever you want to watch.
Well, I, for one, am intrigued.
Vacationing is an art, and the Palm Beaches are your canvas. Stroll along sun-soaked beaches. Unwind at boutique resorts. Explore hidden and not so hidden gems. Here you'll discover a lifestyle that's nothing short of a masterpiece. Curate your perfect collection of experiences in the Palm Beaches.
Not a lot of hits here at our nightcap. And the Cowboys have scored all 4 runs. They'll look for some insurance or some separation here in the top of the 8th. Heart of the lineup, Schubert, Jones, and Brigham against Jackson. Schubert 0 for 3, did reach and score back in that 4th inning. Entered this weekend hitting just under 400. Good pitch for strike 1. Think about this. A year ago, he led the Big 12 in homers and runs batted in, Brian, and he missed 12 games. It's about a fourth of the college season.
You can see the athleticism in the batter's box. It's a very toolsy package that Nolan Schubert has. There's a ton of bat speed, and the encouraging thing at this point of the season, even though the power hasn't been there, is the patience that he showed as well.
That is probably the interesting aspect, though. No home runs yet for a guy who's hitting well. He had a 4-homer game last April against Wichita State.
Homers are usually come in bunches. Once he gets the first one.
He's being pitched well, though, this weekend.
Well, absolutely. And when you have the resume that Nolan Schubert has, anytime opposing teams see the lineup, they're going to say, okay, this is the guy that cannot beat us. This is the guy that we're going to be most careful with. And it's up to him to make decisions on when he's going to push it a little bit and get aggressive, and when he's just going to kind of move it down the line.
It was part of the conversation I had for Michael early, talking about Laviolette. You know, similar guys as far as the focal point in a lineup as Jones bats. And I said, you know, is Jace being pitched differently? And you could see where maybe Schubert might have the same thing, where, you know, you might get a scouting report on a pitcher and he never throws a changeup in this count, but he does to you. Or he doesn't throw this pitch in this spot, but he may try it to you, which just goes against the grain of any scouting report.
And it's difficult to game plan your at-bats. You think you know tendencies, but when you're a guy with the talent level of...
Jones wore that one.
Fastball that just got away from Jackson.
A lot of college hitters will wear it. Jones didn't have a choice there. That would knock him down like a bowling pin.
Now, by the time he's trying to get out of the way, that ball's on. That's 96 up high.
Almost got him on the Big 12 logo on his... He turned to his dugout and said, let's go. But you can understand where you would maybe pitch some of these big hitters a little bit differently. You might not feel like you have anything to lose. You might also want to break their rhythm just a bit, because these guys understand scouting reports extremely well.
Well, absolutely. And it's difficult to hit 3 or 4 different pitches to account for all of those pitches at once. And if pitchers are going to go against tendency, it makes it that much more difficult.
Briggerman lifts one out to left, a little bit shy of the warning track. And the catch is made by Erickson for the second out of the inning. So the dangerous Schubert and Briggerman have been set down this inning, with Jones hit in between that duo. And Aiden Miola is 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. Will bat. Our nightcap last night was a 3-2 Arizona win over these Aggies. Another lower scoring game this evening, but a 4-run advantage for Oklahoma State. Each team has used just 2 pitchers. I got the box score of that Tennessee Rice game. It looked like a big league spring training game. I started to count the pitchers and I ran out of bandwidth in my mind.
Early season baseball.
Look at this box score. I think Tennessee, everybody batted that was available.
Tennessee probably threw 10 guys out there that throw 100 too.
Laviolette started back. He has to come sprinting in. He'll get there to make the catch to win the inning. Cowboys strand a base runner. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Still a 4-run lead.
Oklahoma State is more than a university. We are a promise. A promise to inspire, to demand more from ourselves, and be leaders on a global scale. A promise to create, to solve the world's most complex problems, and to give back to our communities. At OSU, we are a promise to forever be loyal and true. Here at the nation's premier land-grant university, orange is the answer.
What does Texas A&M University stand for? We stand for excellence, respect, and loyalty. We stand for leadership, integrity, and selfless service. We stand for 4 straight hours. We stand up for others. We don't stand by, and we won't stand still. At Texas A&M, we know what we stand for. Come stand with us.
Let's just get a closer look.
Mom?
5 immersive worlds. One amazing theme park. Our universe will never be the same.
Oh, you gotta see this.
Epic Universe, only at Universal Orlando Resort.
Fans look like they're in the Crawford boxes, hanging out in that front row.
A&M fans out there are probably hoping for some souvenirs this inning.
There was a bit of an exodus after the 7th. I don't know if people are trying to get a start on their second portion of their Saturday night or not, but there's still 6 outs with which to work. But 4-0 Oklahoma State in front. Terrence Kill going to lead off. He's 0 for 2. Cowboys have made a couple of changes defensively. That ball poked out to right. Schubert back, and he'll make the catch. Thompson, the new second baseman, replaces Jones. Bear Harrison, the catcher, is 0 for 2. Good pitch for strike one.
Ever since Drew Blake has come in, he's been throwing strikes. He's been doing it in a hurry as well. Looks like he can't get to the next pitch fast enough.
Yeah, if you're A&M, you look up, there's a quick out, then Harrison steps in, there's a quick strike. And again, it gets back to that running uphill feeling. A weight is on your back.
That's how it feels when it's not going well. It feels like you wake up in the morning and you're 0-2. It's
if you're not in the lineup, do you still feel it, that collective energy or lack thereof in the dugout?
Absolutely. You can feel it in the clubhouse in those types of situations. It just permeates the whole team.
Down and out, 2-2. A&M lost Sunday to Cal Poly. They fell 7-3 to Texas State Tuesday. High fly, shallow left. LaSalle camped underneath it. And there's 2 outs. Yesterday they took a 2-1 lead to the 9th inning but lost. And your point was a good one earlier. When you're not scoring a lot of runs and you got guys like Ryan Prager and Justin Lampkin going to the mound, you still feel like you got a shot, and if they might lose both of their outings.
Well, absolutely, and those guys have done a great job keeping the team in it. It's not like they're getting blown out in any of these games. They have opportunities to score runs and try to win games, but how many of these games can you go through and not take advantage of these good starts? Because at some point in the season, as good as those guys are, they're going to have some starts that aren't so good.
Especially in conference play, as Kent fouls one back, another play to the left. Just hard to be that good each and every start against SEC competition or some of the top teams you'll face, or just the randomness of our crazy game. But by the way, since Blake has come in, Brian, he's thrown 31 pitches, 25 strikes, make it 26.
Most of those pitches have been quality strikes. It's not been a lot of right down the middle. It's been a lot of corners and just off the edge.
Kent's 0 for 3. Twice he's hit the ball on the ground to first. Really tried to expand the zone and tap that one foul to stay alive.
That's the kind of stuff you're looking at if you're Michael Early over there in that A&M dugout. It's not going well for your offense, but our guys still fighting. Our guys still trying to extend at bats, spoil good pitches, maybe get themselves a mistake later. That's how you break out of it, and you want to see the guys still in that fight.
Wave and a miss. The bat goes flying. Kent will K. Aggies go in order. Sit down in the 8th. So we head to the 9th. Cowboys in control.
I think I changed my mind about these glasses.
Yeah, it happens. That's why VisionWorks gives you 100 days to change your mind. It's simple. Anything else I can help you with?
Like what?
VisionWorks. See the difference.
I just want to improve in like all aspects of my game, my shooting, my handling, being a leader, finishing, just everything. Anything that leads to winning.
My right leg. So it feels like a new leg, so you kind of have to reintroduce it to a bunch of different motions and shapes and whatnot.
My shots all season started really for me, so I've been working on my shots.
Overall game, you know what I'm saying, my ball handling got a lot stronger this offseason, playing stronger, and just being more consistent.
I'm looking to improve really everything in my game this year, you know, just learning as much as I can. Coming in as a rookie, just learning from the vets, learning from everyone on the team, and just trying to figure out as much as I can.
My aggressiveness, being on transition, able to be in condition to play on both ends of the floor.
Something I'm looking to improve on, winning. I want the winning to go up.
The excitement, the emotion, the passion. This is H-Town High School Sports with Todd Freed.
See it all right here on Space City Home Network.
Oklahoma State ready to bat in the 9th with a 4-0 lead. Let's go to run in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th. And that's it in this game. Doherty, Schultz, and Culbertson, bottom 3 hitters, will face Jackson. Each team has used just 2 pitchers. 8 total hits. When you have 9 games in this event over 3 days, regardless of the caliber of teams, you're going to have a couple of games that just kind of get away from squads, whether they're run rules, whether they aren't terribly well played or crisply played. But when you get 2 teams that are really kind of going at it, we had one last night, that pitcher's duel in a 3-2 game. It can be a lot of fun when you get a big crowd here. Now, obviously, A&M has not hit the ball well, and that's part of it, but these games more resemble the pro game when you're not having some of the chaos.
The beauty of college baseball is kind of the unpredictable nature and the big swings of emotion and momentum, and when you can kind of see a game playing out the way that you expected it or maybe the way you hoped it wouldn't, it can kind of get a little boring to you.
Wave and a miss. Doherty down on strikes. Mo Jackson and Blake, coming out of their respective bullpens, have done a really nice job as well, kind of shortening the game.
Well, absolutely, and it's been quality stuff, first of all, but it's also been a lot of strikes. Everybody who's come out there and run out there on the mound has been ahead in the count and strike one and putting hitters on the defensive all night.
Garrett Scholl is homered and singled. Fouled back into the upper tank. So Schultz is now 10 for 20. That's good, right?
That'll work.
There's nothing wrong with that. 10 for 20. Strike called. He might have thought that was a little bit up or a little bit in. Switch hitter to boot. He has a chance to homer from both sides of the plate. Instead, he's going to take strike 3. He got to welcome the college baseball moment there with a couple of pitches he wasn't thrilled with, but down on strikes he goes.
It's kind of at bat that'll frustrate a hitter. You get a borderline call up at the top of the zone. Okay, that's fine. I see where that zone is. And then you get a borderline call on the bottom of the zone. And it's like, man, one or the other, please.
Yeah, that's not fun. Culbertson has played some small ball. He's dropped down a couple of bunts, reached on an air, scored a run, got a hit, also swiped a base. I thought maybe, though, the play of the game that kind of really put the Aggies behind the 8 ball. And that one is whipped to the left for a base hit, a 2-out single. Brian, there was a ground ball by LaSalle to Hensler at third in that 5th inning. Culbertson held, then he raced to third base. Benderup's throw back to third, went down the line, and the run scored.
That was a play that really felt like the game was speeding up on Texas A&M. It's a game where if you kind of have your wits about you, you see that, hey, that 90 feet doesn't really matter that much. I'm going to stick this ball in my pocket and just let my pitcher go out and finish the inning. But the play gets rushed and the throw gets rushed and the throw goes into the outfield, and next thing you know, it's another run and another misplay out in front of this A&M team.
And your point at the time, I think, held true. It's a run, but it feels like 2. It almost feels like more than 1.
I said earlier, at some point in the season, 4 runs won't feel like much to this A&M offense, but it's a whole lot right now.
A liner into right center for a base hit off the bat of Smith. Culbertson runs well. He's going to motor to third easily. He's even going to round and hold there. A couple of 2-out singles from Culbertson and Smith. And maybe Oklahoma State will get some insurance.
It's a mistake pitch right there. Really the first one that Jackson has made in his outing so far. He's trying to go down and away, kind of yanks it over the middle of the plate, and if it weren't for lack of elevation, that ball might have ended up in the gap.
It can be really hard in this ballpark to score a runner from second on a hard hit, base hit to left or right, but those gaps are entirely different. You know that really well.
Yeah, that shot at the left fielder seems like he's playing deep shortstop sometimes, but if you can get the center fielder moving from side to side, guys typically have to play a little bit deeper out there in center field because the gaps do get big. If you see any lateral movement out of a center fielder, that's your key. You just put your head down and keep running.
LaSalle is 0 for 3. Was hit by a pitch back in the 4th. Swinging a foul tip off Harrison, back to the screen. Little tap or foul. Smith was off with the pitch. Just 2 Texas A&M hits. Oklahoma State, they could tack on a 5th run or more, would really be feeling pretty good going to the bottom of the 9th. On the ground to short. Nice big bounce for Kent. He'll have to throw to first. He does. 2 in the inning. Couple of hits, 2 men left on. Last chance for the Aggies. Down 4. Headed to the bottom of the 9th.
I'm an overpowered leaf blower, and I'm not exactly street legal.
And if you don't have the right auto coverage, this could really blow your budget. So get Allstate, save money, and be protected from mayhem. Yeah, like me.
There's never been a better time to become a season ticket holder for the Houston Astros. The average season ticket holder enjoys 45% savings over single game ticket prices, plus significant savings at the team store with exclusive season ticket holder discounts. Along with exclusive experiences and events, season ticket holders get priority access to postseason tickets. Become a season ticket holder today. Visit astros.com/season tickets for more information.
The Texas Children's Houston Open is here. Houston's iconic PGA tournament is back in full swing, March 27th through the 30th, and tickets are on sale now. Get ready for an experience like no other at Memorial Park. The Texas Children's Houston Open is the perfect place to host family, friends, or clients. with general admission, venue hopper, and premium hospitality options available. Visit tchouopen.com/tickets today.
To the bottom of the ninth we go. It's been all Cowboys. One more chance for Texas A&M. They will have the heart of their lineup, but a new pitcher coming into the game for Oklahoma State. It's Sean Youngerman, Valencia, California native.
Youngerman's a righty who's bounced between the starting rotation and the bullpen. Obviously, he has the coach's trust enough to go and close out this game. He's got a good fastball, over-the-top delivery. He creates a lot of spin to get extra ride on that fastball. The velocity's 94, 96 miles an hour, but it plays a little bit harder. He's got a good changeup that works downhill and a slider that's been improved this year.
Coming out of Westmont College to high school in California. Wyatt Hensler had the 2-run homer last night for both of the Aggie runs. He had the double in the fourth that was their lone hit until the single by Bergevin in the seventh. With his home run last night, it gave him 56 in his career, tying Hunter Hines of Mississippi State for the active home run lead. Before this season is over, I'd be shocked if Laviolette didn't have that. He's only 3 behind. By the way,
Hunter Hines is chasing the guys at the top of the list for the all-time Mississippi State home run record, and those are some big names. Those are some big names.
New right fielder as well, Conover for Oklahoma State. Replacing Schubert. This will test my theory if the ball will find you, because I'm on this run. I don't know how many college games I've done this year already, a lot. Every time there's a new defensive player, the ball finds it. Maybe not in the air, but it'll come to you.
You better be ready.
Undefeated, it feels like, in these last couple of weeks. He didn't have to go sliding into a side wall or run into the fence, but you better be ready.
Wyatt Hensler has just done nothing but hit this year. That's a tough pitch. That's a fastball down and away, maybe off the edge a little bit. He let it travel a long way before he threw the barrel out at it.
You know, you come from the Ivy League. No matter how much success you've had, you have to wonder, you know, is this going to play at the next level? Laviolette rips one into the gap in right center field. That's a base hit. Hensler will turn and go to third. The throw is knocked out on the warning track. For a second, it looked like maybe Hensler was going to be out.
That's the swing that Jace Laviolette has been looking for. Just a pitch down, out over the plate that he can take a nice, easy swing and drop the head on. Smokes it into the right center field gap, and the Aggies still staying aggressive on the bases. And, you know, the table is set. Here's your opportunity.
It was a nice job by Youngerman to back up that play, though. He saved a base for the time being. He's been greeted by a couple of singles. And here's Bender up.
It's difficult to do, but Youngerman has to tell himself, those guys out on the bases don't matter. My battle is at home plate.
And in a game where the Aggies have had so precious few base runners, this is the third time tonight that Bender up has come up with 2 men on base. 3 times. First inning, third inning, and here in the ninth. So he's had some chances. Needs an out. Soft little pop-up that will be caught by Brigham.
You talk about the ball finding the defensive replacement. If you're struggling at the plate, those situations are going to find you too, and Binderup has been that guy today.
No, it's a great point, and I think it comes to fruition a lot when maybe you're trying to find it, you're fighting it a little bit, And you're always up in a situation where it feels like if I was feeling good, if I delivered, I could really help my team.
The good thing is that one time having the success in those situations could open up the rest of your season.
You're right. Sawyer Farr will wave and miss. He's 0 for 3. It's like searching for the lost ark right now for these Aggies. I mean, they're walking through the wilderness, just trying to find something that might change their fortunes. Knocked down by Doherty. Laviolette will advance. And the big man can move. Gets 90 on the wild pitch. May not be big, but it takes away the possibility of a game-ending double play or even a force at second.
Just gives you the opportunity to possibly extend the game a little bit. You want to give yourself as many chances as possible, and taking away that force play does.
Tell you what, you better be confident you're going to make it, though.
It's one of those plays you do it out of reaction. And then when you're about 3/4 of the way down, you say, man, I hope I was right.
I hope I can get to second. Because Doherty did a nice job on the block and the throw. 1-2 the count to Farr. Youngerman ready. His pitch again. Doherty blocked it. With runners at second and third, that's even more important that he's going to smother that baseball, that wild pitch of sorts. Two balls, 2 strikes. Now 2 gone. Over to miss. Farr with K. Youngerman made a big pitch with a fastball at 96 mph.
That's just power right there from Youngerman. He had been showing breaking balls, trying to get the chase down at the bottom, and finally says, hey, I think I've got it opened up upstairs. I'm just going 96 up top.
Pinch hitter is Hayden Schott. He wears that number 12. So famous in Aggie lore. Schott got the start last night as the DH, went 0 for 4. Hits into the shift. Big bounder. The throw to first will end the game. And 3 Oklahoma State pitchers combine on a 4-hit shutout. And the Cowboys take it 4-0.